When the storms got me built like the Dark Knight. Wanna rise to the top, need a pack light. Gotta stick to the script, better act right. Body cold, caught slipping on black ice. When the storms, I'm built like the Dark Knight. Wanna rise to the top, need a pack light. Gotta stick to the script, better act right. Body cold, caught slipping on black ice. Your homie's been giving bad advice. Lose your head against me, you should think twice.
Back again, Immaculate Negro Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2. So for this episode, the guest we have on today is my man, my accomplice, low-key partner in crime, Iron Brown. How you feeling today, bro?
It's going to be a good day.
It's going to be a good day?
We already got done with evidence, so it's going to be a good day.
Oh, damn. Don't remind me. So, I'm going to just dive right into it. Obviously, you're also on this ESQ path with me. We're all trying to get somewhere with this.
You said this path with you like I have any other option. We stuck with this. We're literally stuck with this.
No, we in this bitch for real. You can't tap out now. We made it through the real struggle. But talk about your dreams and the process, if you're comfortable sharing with that. Like, how does this play into that? What does this mean to you? And what is the process of getting to your dreams been like?
That's one thing we always differentiate on, because one thing I've always noticed with you have this high peak goal. If Zell ain't president, if he ain't the next Obama, it's over with. And I'm like, bro, I don't even want that. Give me the security for Obama. I'll take that as easy. So for me, it's always kind of been I've done everything just about taking care of my family. Very dead set when I was a kid. I just knew I want to make sure that whatever kids I got, wife I got, whatever lifestyle we want to live, I can provide that. We can do it together. Mm-hmm. I want to make sure that I do my part. So I don't really care if it's the lawyer going in the path of politician, partner, having this big office floor with the view of the city. None of that really matters to me. It's really on the point of just I go to work, take care of my family, come back home, we have a good nice little life. So that's honestly I just always remember that whenever we do anything. It's just if I can't do that now, I'm 27, when am I going to be able to do it? That's my main grind.
Oh, this nigga, you're really driven to just build that family life. I mean, I feel that. That's honorable, though. You're not. Hey, yo, we got niggas on the sideline trying to be on the screen. Niggas say, yeah. He said, yeah. Hey, yo, get this nigga out of here.
We already got audience. We got an audience in here just saying.
Everybody froze with him hey, yo, your time will come, nigga. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, come on, man.
Hey, yo.
That was jokes. I mean, but that's real honorable. And you're right. I do have delusions of grandeur for
But they're not. If you could tell yourself that is your goal and you get there one day, who can stop you?
I mean, you're right, and I won't be stopped. So, I guess that's unfortunately right.
Look at the eyes. Look at the people. Look at him in the eyes when he said that. That man is crazy, and I get dragged through this crazy every day with him. I don't know how I do it.
Yes.
How was comms when we were studying for comms?
Oh man, oof, yeah. So I don't even know niggas know what comps are. So I mean, I guess people are gonna know because ESQ gonna listen. But if you don't know what comps are, it's and at the end of our first year of law school, we have a comprehensive exam where it's worth 50% of your grade. I know not every law school is like that, but our law school we have comps. And so me and him were grinding for comps, and he hated me because we were sleeping at the school basically, and he just was not too impressed with the way I was forcing him to study.
Modern day slavery. It's the easiest way I can call it, modern day slavery. And I appreciate it. I would not be here if it was not for this man. I give him all the credit that he deserves. The man did it. The man made sure I was there studying. We were grinding, ate food there. We literally focused so much, and I would not be here if it wasn't for him. But I hated every single second of just waking up on campus full, just being tired.
Oh, man.
The man got his car towed.
Oh, man.
That shit's just down bad. And every time something bad would happen while we're studying, guess what we do? Go right back to studying we weren't already just suffering.
Couldn't even relish in the pain. They towed my car. We went back, got it, came back to the school, and just kept studying. Oh, but you know what? Let's not talk too much about that. We made it. It's over. Let's move on. Before I fucking get flashbacks of the moments, because some bullshit at the end of the day. But, okay, I've actually never talked to you about this in reality, I don't think. But where is your blackness from? Do you know?
That's a good one. I think my mother. I grew up like my mother. It's really weird because I grew up with my mother, who is very heavy into her African belief. And if you walked into our house, you would not believe it was my house because it was literally just African, everything. The wallpaper was
just
African,
decor and shit like that.
Decor and everything. Yeah. And I was just my parents are from Kentucky.
Yeah.
No real down 100%. They know their roots and heritage. But I think it was that. I think the only thing that fucked me up in my life though is like growing up, I got to a point with always around Hispanics in the schools I was in because it was predominantly white. So I was like hanging around Hispanics. Then I got like to high school. It was all black high school. I mean like 15-30% were Hispanic.
Gang. Oh, what? Okay, that's not.
And then it was like one white person.
Yeah.
It was very small.
Joke. Shout out to y'all.
And so it was like when I came into that, they were just like every black person was like, "You're not black." I was like, "What does that mean?"
How you gonna tell me?
I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, you're just not black enough." And it was Acres Homes. It was Carver Magnet High School. So it was a predominantly black high school in a whole black area. And it was just I wasn't the criteria for black for certain people. So it always like fucked my mind up when I grew up. I was just like, damn, like I am black. I'm 6'6". I know anybody else that looks at me tells me I'm black.
Yeah.
But immediately it's just like, oh, you're not the Black X fan.
Oh shit.
And so that fucks a kid up when you're in high school and you're talking about shit like this.
What?
So I grew up with just like, you know what? Everybody has their interpretation of black.
Oh.
Or everyone has their interpretation of what you should be if you're a black man.
100%.
And you know what's crazy? My mother raised me to be a respectable man, take care of what I needed to do,
Sure enough.
and then literally be me. So if you don't like me because I like anime or I do some, I like going out,
Shout out to anime.
paddleboarding, like weird shit, golf, like if I like being outside, like I play rugby. Like most people don't even know the rules of rugby. I didn't know the rules of rugby.
Quote unquote Caucasian activities. Let's just call it what it is.
Call it what it is.
Yeah,
Call it what it is. It's
yeah.
literally Caucasian activities, and it's just like, nah.
Yeah.
'Cause I know damn well if a cop pulls me over, he ain't gonna see the whitewash, what you would call it, version of me. He's a 6'5" black dude. He doesn't know he's scared with me and everyone else. It is, but it is what it is because no one can change me. I'm still gonna be me.
Well, damn, that was actually real as fuck. And I actually want to talk about that some more because obviously being Nigerian, I did experience that, like, I guess colorism being coming to America. So it's interesting how you talk about that being born in America. They're still dealing with you differently just because you're not acting a certain ways. And it's like, damn, there's really levels to it in that sense. No matter like if you're not fitting the status quo, whatever, I guess in whatever paradigm you're in, right? In this case, it was blackness in your situation. So it's like, yeah, like you black, but you're not one of us, which is crazy. That's crazy. What the fuck? But going back to like your mom and like you say your parents from Kentucky, all that stuff. So clearly she was close to like her roots. Did she ever like talk to you about that? And like, as it relates to the diaspora, I guess the matriculation of your family, things like that. She ever talk to you about anything like that?
There was like one thing, like she didn't like her own history. So she was very much into like I will let you know about where I'm from. My father was from Kentucky. They're both from the same small, Louisville, Kentucky, same small town. Grew up like right next to each other. Father never told me anything about it either, but he was light-skinned dude. And then my mom was just very much like, she loved to incorporate that in her lifestyle and to walk, because she worked for the Department of Justice. And so majority of times it was like all white coworkers. And she had to do the same thing, but on the opposite spectrum of just being like, I am African American, I am black, but I have to be a certain level to not scare you of this African American, like this of my history. And so I watched her do that tightrope when I was a kid. So I learned from her how to do that. But outside of that, like once it was like how she grew up, she nicked it. She didn't want me to know nothing about her past.
Damn, that's why do you think that was? Because I'm curious about why.
She got some fucked up history. Like,
I mean, I know you don't got to share, but like,
I'm not.
I
don't owe y'all nothing. I owe y'all nothing.
I owe y'all stuff. Don't worry about him. Come to me.
Can't gonna tell you either.
Yeah, I don't know, but like, okay, that's interesting though, because like, damn, bro, yeah, man, life is just crazy for everybody. So it's a good segue into, I guess, my next question. So, because it kind of encompasses it all. So, what does blackness mean to you? What does being black mean to you? And I guess through your lens, how has it made you feel throughout your life?
I think one thing when it comes to being black is unity. And I think when I say unity, it means where we've always talked about it, especially in the school statement of, we have so many amazing lawyers from Thurgood. We have so many amazing people that have climbed the mountaintops. They have broken through adversity. They have done so much. And unfortunately, we grew up with the stigma that other races and other cultures like to stick together, but sometimes we attack each other. So I've always looked at it in the lens of, I am the same color as the man next to me at that school, or any other black man. We're all the same.
Yeah.
I will give you what I'm able to give you in solidarity to help you if you're coming to my level. And I think that's my look at it. Blackness it needs to be more unification, because we have such a harder problem of what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's just like, and I think it's from my standpoint when I say unity is because like I always got tore down. It was never by Hispanics. It was never by whites. It was never by the Asian community. People tore me down. They only tore me down because they looked at me and just said, oh, you talk a little bit different.
You're not black enough.
You're not black enough. So I've always looked at it as like, I am black, but let's just always look at it as like, I've always just turned it around to myself and it's like, if another black man looks to me for advice, to have that unification, to not turn them away. As much trauma as I dealt with people shitting on me, I'm not going to shit the next young man that comes behind me and just says, hey, I want to understand law school. I want to get into it. Find out like, what's it like? Could you tell me?
No gatekeeping.
I'm not going to gatekeep.
Yeah, none of that.
I'm going to give you every resource I can give to you to make you succeed. If you ask me, I'm not going to run around and just be like giving out to everybody, just free card. Here's the experience by law school. Yeah. But I'm always going to be unified with especially black young men.
Yeah.
And then protecting black women, but especially black young men, always just making sure that like, you believe that what I have is something that you want to have as well. Let's do it together.
Yeah, you can have it.
Let's make sure that I can give you the forward plan if you want to follow this. We can make this work.
Yeah.
But don't ever look at me and just be like, oh, you turned your back on me.
Yeah.
I wasn't this or that. It's like, nah, we both black. I got to go with the same struggles you got to go through every single day.
So, but do you think, I guess, the adversity you went through has shaped that perspective? Because everything we've been
100%.
through have made us who we are, right? So, 100%. I guess we could be a part of the problem if the problem didn't affect us already.
Yeah, 100%. Like I think the greatest way is just like, I really do stick with it. Like I love Latinos and I love the Latin community because I grew up with like quinceañeras. I've stood in 3 quinceañeras.
Yeah.
I know how to salsa. I know how to merengue. I literally like, but it was because they accepted me in their culture. And
multicultural around here.
Bro, I have so many brothers. One of my good boys, Bruno, his daughter, they're having the baby shower this weekend. And I'm going to this weekend. Like, and I've known this kid since high school and we've been thick and thieves. But it's literally one of my boys, but his whole family, I walked into their house and I say, my brother Bruno said, hey, his mom's going through some medical conditions. They're going through some things right now. He's just going to come stay over for a while a little bit. And every time I came over to that house, they treated me like a son. And unfortunately, I had other black homes that knew what I was going through. And it was always just they're across the street, they're looking in, they'd ask me what's going on, but they would never communicate. So that's why I always try to turn that table around. I was like, I can support anybody. Black, white, Hispanic, everybody. But especially black brothers. So another young black man has to go through it.
Damn. Okay, so I guess I spoke about this in the last episode. I want to ask you your feelings on it too. Do you think the idea of this like black solidarity and black unity in the community is more romanticized than the actual practice in reality?
100%.
That's an easy question.
100%.
Huh? It's like, duh. It's like you niggas act like we're all the same team, but you don't really act like it. You feel me?
How many times have you ever heard the statement of someone saying, hey, I'm starting a business. Hey, let me get a discount.
Ooh.
Boy, you my boy. Let me get a discount.
Ooh.
Brenton's selling shirts tomorrow. Ooh. They say, hey, bro, Brenton, if I buy 5, let me get a discount. Why?
Shit.
We can go everywhere else and support every other business. We are the economy.
He might as well just name drop me. Shit, I'm that nigga.
Hey,
I expect discounts. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what you talk about. I'm not paying full price. I'm not doing it. I'm just
That's Canadian in them. That's why. It's Canadian in them.
I don't give a fuck what you want to call it. Nah, I mean, I don't know. That's just the nigga in me, for real. And it's just because my expectation is if I got some shit, man, you already know I'm gonna give you for free. You could just have it.
100%.
I'm not going. What? You can have it.
But I think, like I said, with a business wise, like me and you've always talked, we're gonna start a business someday. Never gonna walk up to you if you got to that business before me, and I got held back a year.
Yeah,
I brought back a year.
Whatever.
I'm not gonna walk up to you and be like, hey, bro, you already got a business partner. Hey, we boys though. I want a better deal than homeboy. Like that.
Okay, yeah, I'm
gonna come up to you. I'm gonna come up to you correct and be like,
hey, a proper deal. Yeah.
I'll walk up to you correct. Come to you correct and be like, hey, this is how I want to do it. I want to earn that shit too. Start me out whatever. I know we boys. Start me out whatever, and let's build this together.
So, as before we move on to the next topic, I want to ask you quick because people get caught up talking about proms. So I want to ask you solutions. What do you think the solution is in terms of building genuine solidarity within our community? Not that fake shit, but that real shit. Like that's like, nah, that's my brother, regardless of where you from or what flag you rep or where you were born. Like this blackness really unites us. Because like I said, that's what we feel, but that's not really the reality. So, what are the steps to get to that actual point?
I think that is something that's going to be so hard, but
Step one,
I think, is for people like me that are making these comments, I got to get back. I think, and I've done this in the past, working like a corporate job. I'm the only black male in this environment of this corporate job. I'm going out to recruitment events at black events for this company. giving people the tools to succeed, and they pass it back behind them. Almost like this is really bad to compare to this, but Starbucks.
Yeah.
Someone buys your drink before you.
Free promo.
No free promos. Fuck, that's not bad. Everybody loves coffee at this place. But if you go somewhere and someone gives the person behind you pays for your drink, and they keep passing it back, at some point someone's gonna stop. Nothing wrong with that, but I think that's the concept that we gotta kind of click into is just making sure, like say our class, every black man takes a mentor when we graduate, or we just take a mentoree, a mentee, and we keep a solid connection with them. Is if we impact one other black gentleman, black young lady, and instill to them the connections, the resources that we have, they're going to pass it down. They're going to pass it down. And then it's going to cycle.
Yeah.
And then everyone's going to have that mentality of just like, especially from the law school perspective, if I give back, someone else is going to receive.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep going and keep going and going. And that way, I think we can really build unity because then no one's really trying to tear each other down. We're all helping each other. And I think that's one amazing thing about Thurgood is we already know we're behind everybody. Quote unquote.
Allegedly.
How everyone else wants to look at us. I ain't saying like that.
I'm gonna edit that whole part out. But
yeah,
carry.
But people always try to knock our school because of these perceived notions in the law field and all this and that. You know what's real crazy though? We always try to have each other's back.
Always.
Even people got beef. Funniest thing, first year of law school, so much beef. People actually are friends now. Because why? Why are we going to fight in-house when we got to go outside and fight too?
Sure enough.
There's no reason why we always got to fight while we're in home. And then when we leave to go to work, we got other beef too. Got to stay together. Figure out what we got wrong here. And then we all can build and be better outside.
Okay. I like that takeaway. So let's maintain that solidarity, maintain that focus, and reach back, man. Like you said, if everybody helps one person, then damn, we just saved the day. We really just saved the day off that one act. So it's not gonna hurt you to help one other person that you know is struggling or trying to get to where you are, or just trying to improve their situation. You know. So let's keep working towards that. So into the next thing, every time I talk about this topic, I'm always gonna have the same starting. I know we real gentlemanly in here, but let's talk about women. Yeah, I mean, we real. Don't make a crazy face like that. The last two niggas, every time I said that, they always made a wild face, either for or against, or just kind of incriminating themselves, which is kind of crazy.
I'm not incriminating myself. It's just my hopes. My hopes is making mistakes.
Wow.
I'm excited to see what this is.
Okay, well, here's where it's going. So, I'm gonna just ask you how you feel. Like I said, obviously you my mans. You know, like. I think you're a man of integrity, like, you know, like you're a good dude. Otherwise, you wouldn't be my man. So clearly your mother raised you right. So then I say that to say, like, how do you feel about women? How do you feel about the patriarchy? Like, what is your perspective on how, I guess, where the world is going, even as it relates to being a black man in the patriarchy, the, I guess, intersectionality that black women have to, I guess, be fucking succumb to. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean? Like the intersectionality that they're faced with, they have to deal with every day. So talk about it.
I think, and I'm going to quote Jacob Schaub. And if anybody
you going to quote who?
Quote Jacob Schaub. Go now. Quote Jacob Schaub. Unfortunately, we don't protect our own black women. And as much as they protect us.
He said that?
Wow. As much as black women have always had the structure to take care of black men when we fail, when we succeed, and when we ain't shit. It's so unfortunate that we do not have their back. And I know this is going to be a hot take from me, but it's one of those unfortunate things in our society is just like we don't. And like I said, my mother raised me right.
Not hot take from me. I just caught that. Not hot take. It's gonna be caliente. All right, carry on.
But no, it's like my mother raised me so right. But the one funny thing my mother always taught me: hold the door for a woman. That's simple. That's third grade. Like when you got a little crush, you walking down the school, hold the door for her.
Basic chivalry, yes.
Basic chivalry,
yes.
And I've had so many women just in our law school just say it's the disrespect that men can't even do that. And it's like,
damn, y'all niggas ain't shit.
It's crazy to me because I'm like, and they give me shit for it. It's like, why can't you put on a symposium? I ain't the nigga to teach them. Yeah. I got flaws. But it's wild that we really do see that kind of thought, and even in like you could say a sophisticated law school, men don't even have the concept of just holding the door for women. The disrespects, the not getting enough credit to do so much work. My mother was a black mother that raised me on her own. Dad was like in and out of my life. So it's like I watched a woman go from working as a paralegal, moved her way up to the Department of Justice as a quote unquote black woman to do all the things that I never thought I could do or see.
Yeah.
It's crazy to watch her do that. And it shows how much strength like black women always do have. So much strength they have. It's just unfortunate that we don't give them that support. I don't know. Like, that's my question. I would love a black woman to sit me down. I've had aunties sit me down and tell me the way to do that. Because I'm not always gonna be right. And I don't know. I want to make sure, as Jacob said, I will do whatever I can when you ask.
Ooh.
And I promise you, it's the craziest thing. And that's why I used to have conversations with him about this stuff. He was so adamant. If it wasn't LGBTQ rights, if it wasn't black women's rights, whenever it was the abortion ban kicked in, Jacob Shaw is sitting in here painting posters. One of the only black men I see in the room.
Shout out to Jacob Shaw, man. I didn't know he was moving like that.
And that was crazy.
Okay.
But he was like only black man in the room. I think two other Hispanic men were in there, and they're making posters to support the women when they go on the march. They put this message in GroupMe. They put this message, they didn't email it out, but they put a message in GroupMe like, please come to this event to help. Why was no one there? I think, and that's the reason why I always say is like, my mother was able to teach me.
Yeah.
If a young man doesn't have his father, I would love to be able to teach him that little element.
Yeah.
If I can teach him that, a woman down the road, when he has his wife and the love of his life, he will treat her. He will make one less wrong decision because I helped him now. I love it. Because I think that's a real way. It's just young men. If young men don't have that father figure in their life, they are already set on it. Like they're already set back 5 steps.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so much harder for them to get to the point where they need to be.
And
For a
never gonna
woman,
catch up. Yeah.
it's gonna be so possible.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, always just passing it back forward because like that's how we change our young men. Gotta talk to them, and we gotta give them all the jewels that we have now. Because I knew right now, if you told like 15-year-old me some wild shit I'd say, I'd be like, yeah, I probably said that. I said, yeah,
I mean,
fucked up.
Unhinged, man. Niggas be unhinged sometimes.
But like, if I could teach my 15-year-old self now all the games that I know now, life changing. I wouldn't be a nerd.
Of course. He's like, I will be a nerd. Hey, yo, nerds are winning, man. We all nerds around here. What you talking
What
about?
up?
We all nerds. I'll do a Rubik's Cube right now in 2 minutes flat, just to prove a point. Right? Yeah, random flex. But actually, I want to key in on what you said, like listening to women, listening to black women. Like again, so yeah, we were saying I want to key in on something you touched on about listening to women and like listening to black women specifically as black men and how we tend to not do that. So I don't know. It's interesting to me when the solution seems so simple and yet we neglect it. So do you think our refusal to listen is part of the patriarchy? Is it a black man problem? Is it just a man problem? Where is it? Let's actually talk about that a bit more. Like,
it's just such a hard one to like pinpoint because it depends on who you are as a man. Because if a girl told me, say, let's get theoretical.
all right.
Girl, I think I'm the shit. I think I'm the most confident man, suave and everything like that. But if I have a very high confidence about who I am and I'm raised right, then yeah, I'm not going to, quote unquote, I'm not going to just be going around. I'm going to be talking to girls I only believe I want to talk to. I'm not going to give the time of the day to anybody else if I am that confident. That does also not mean, though, that I'm not going to give the world to the woman that I think deserves that. So it's a very weird, like, you only can hit on that per man.
Case by case.
Case by case.
Case by case.
Because, like I said, unfortunately, it's a very wide group of men that all ain't shit. But
Do y'all hear that? Are you ashamed? There's a white group of y'all that just ain't shit. Established.
y'all ain't trying. That's the crazy part.
And y'all ain't trying.
Fix yourself. Go to therapy. Therapy's great.
Oh, therapy's wonderful, my niggas.
But I think that's the number one thing is wrong with a lot of black men. Therapy. Because I spent so much time out of my own fucking pocket, which sucks. I know it's awful. I paid for therapy. And I realized at one point, it wasn't like that I was like, oh, I'm depressed. I hate my life. I'm locked in a closet. Nothing was clicking. Every time I was just thinking about the world, thinking about life, it just wasn't clicking. There was something wrong. And I knew there was something wrong behind me. I didn't want to talk about it. So I told myself, I said, you know what? Called out to a therapist, reached out. It was like free, first 30 minutes free. The next session was $125. I think I did like 10 sessions overall. And she really did help for me to understand, like, why was I acting this way? Why was I treating someone important to me disrespectful? Why was I going about my day every single day thinking that I was God, or why I ain't shit, or why that I could get away with murder, or why I could have this personality type? And it really came to the point of, it was like, you're compensating for what happened to you. And if you don't fix that or realize that, then you can't change it. So if unfortunately something happened to you in your childhood where you just woke up one morning and you just said, I'm gonna suppress it, Go to therapy. Take your ass to therapy.
You hear that? That's a free session. That's free game, niggas.
Like, literally.
Go to therapy. Don't. What do they say? Hurt people, and you just walk around hurting people until you heal yourself.
Because you never realize it. You realize that you think it's a defense. You say it's a defense mechanism. You say it's your character. You say it's just the quirky part about you. No, you just ass. Like you just an ass human being.
You just suck, my nigga.
And I think that's what I just realized. Or it's just like if a lot more men just go to therapy, figure out their traumas, figure out what's wrong with them, and then you can have that conversation with someone, and then you could talk to someone and be like, hey, I'm trying to build myself as a better man. And I know that I have this problem, but I want to make something with you. I want to start a life with you, start this, that, and the third. I want to start something, but I do have this baggage. And be open. Because I think a lot of the times, like, and a lot of people say this, women in general, just like, you're holding something back. And it's making you act different. And you're acting weird, or there's something wrong. And so I think a lot of the time is that we take what happened to us that hurt us, we channel that all in. We use this self-defense mechanism. We say it's, I just like to make jokes, I like to make people laugh. But you're really being rude. You're really hurting someone's feelings. You think it's funny.
Wow, introspective, go crazy.
And then once you realize that, though, then you realize, you said, damn, like I can still be funny without really tearing somebody else down.
Sure enough, you really
And then
can.
next thing you know, you start talking to people and you realize, like, I was an asshole. Like I was just being fucking rude, disrespectful. And then you become a better person, and then you start changing. You just start realizing everything was bad. And then
you start treating women better. And I think it's interesting how I'm asking you about women and it turned into therapy. And I think that's something nobody should skip past, because how you treat other people, and especially women, it's all about what you think of yourself, of what you've been through, and how you walk through this earth. So I think that was a wonderful point to make, and it was something nobody should really skip past. You should really do the work within yourself before you start hurting those you claim to care about, right? So that was a good way to end that off. I'm gonna let that marinate with niggas, and hopefully they go to therapy after listening to that. So that was dope. So slide into the next thing. Hot topic always. LGBTQ plus. Yes, sir. So how do you feel about the gang? How do you feel about them? Yeah,
you say that.
Lay it out, bro.
I hate when you say.
I mean, they might as well be a goddamn mafia at this point. It's jokes.
You about to get canceled. I'm gonna have a great. Don't listen to this man. Be whoever you want to be. But we do agree with. I think we agree on this topic is that it's a very fine line of where it's respect and where you want people to treat you the way you interpret how you feel.
Oh my gosh.
And what I mean by that is, like, if someone walked up to me and says, hey, I was born a boy, I've transitioned, and now I personally perceive myself as a woman, go for it. I 100%, I respect you.
Please.
That is your God-given right, and I don't care nor have any input in your life because it's your life.
100%.
Do what makes you happy.
Sincerely.
You go to this grave by yourself. Not with in my opinion, does not matter what. But I really believe, like, I think the only thing that comes over that line though is where it's like comedy. And it's a real hard topic to talk about, but it's like very respectively, it's just like, if I make a joke, it's a joke. I'm not making a joke to tear you down. Now, if I go out and you feel the malicious out of me, then come talk to me. I will explain my purpose of the joke. I will explain what I meant by that joke. I mean comedy, like stand-up comedy special, not like me and the boys are joking and I say, screw that, da-da-da-da-da. I'm not talking about that. That's not funny.
Yeah.
So like on stage comedy, you pay to see me.
Genuine comedy.
Genuine comedy.
Yeah.
I think that has to always be protected because that's freedom of speech and da-da-da. But
I
I think
agree.
it's just like, if you feel a certain way about yourself and you ask me to please respect me and just say, I am Mrs. now, go for it. I won't say, no, I don't believe that's fair to me.
Yeah, because that's kind of crazy.
That's crazy. That's your interpretation of yourself.
Yeah.
But then to come back at me and say, oh, you're hateful because you don't believe that I am a certain thing when I'm not, and I'm not even saying, like, I'm not, it's a very thin line. I'm trying to create a great example for it, but it's like,
you're not anti. It's not like I'm anti.
I'm never anti. I just also like, I
just
won't
disagree, my nigga.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. He will not catch you on that line.
I'm just saying.
He will disagree. I don't really care. I don't care about what pronouns, if whatever that, like whatever you want to call yourself, however you want to dress, however you want to act, how you talk, how you walk. That's all you. Be you. I can't be you, so be you. And if it feels a better way to be something else, go for it. But there's a point to where it's like where people force it. And you force that interpretation of what you want to be onto someone else. And then you telling someone else, oh, you won't let me be the prom queen because I'm this, that, and the third. I know that's traditional. It's traditional boy or girl, but it's sometimes where it's like when you poke the bear, when you know you don't want to be prom queen. When you make a whole petition to say the school is attacking me and not allowing me to be prom queen of TMSL because I am trans. And you never actually wanted to run.
Just proving points.
You're proving points.
Yeah.
That I don't agree with. Because you're starting a riot for no reason.
Yeah.
Now, if someone tells you to your face, no, this is a black law school. We do not want a black trans woman supporting us, something like that.
If it gets blatant like that, then that's crazy.
We will support you.
Always.
I will support you.
Always. No, I'm a man. And that's the thing. I talk about the first episode, but I always have to ask everybody how they feel about it. Y'all already know I don't give a fuck. I actually don't care what. I said I might say this every episode. If you want to be a chair, my nigga, go ahead and be a chair. I truly don't give a fuck. And so I just want to hear everybody's opinion about it. I'm sure people are going to be scared to really say how they really feel because, you know, cancel culture and shit. But hopefully we can get somebody to really say some real shit.
I think that's like the amazing part about cancel culture.
Amazing.
It's hold on. It's so institutionalized where people really thought at first it was working. And at first it was. When you're taking down like Harvey Weinstein, you're taking down like bad men.
Yeah, right. The bad guys.
The bad men.
Not just regular niggas.
Yeah, like Bill Cosby, get that nigga if he out here drugging women.
Of course.
Get Harvey if he's raping women for jobs. R. Kelly peeing on.
R.I.P.
Get that nigga.
R.I.P. to R. Kelly, man. I used to love your music, but you went out sad, bro.
Hey,
you went out so sad.
If you hear step, side to side.
I feel guilty.
Thank
guilty.
You. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, because it gets in your body, you start feeling. But that's the crazy part. Take those men down.
Yeah.
Because those men are wrong.
Yeah.
If you want to go after a company's policy because it's against your belief or your sex or your religion, go for it.
Yeah.
But you cannot force the entire world, and I mean like the left side of you can't force the entire world to succumb to this new view. Because that's not fair to people if you're not having the actual conversation with these people one-on-one. Because I think the one thing I will always speak on is Dave Chappelle says is that every comedy
Shout out
skit.
to fucking Dave Chappelle, man. We riding with you.
Watch this man do this in person, this story, and over the TV. But he literally tells how he had a trans woman affect his life and realized how closely it became his friendship. And then when this woman went to go protect Dave, the own community that she was in attacked her.
They ravaged her, bro.
To the point that this woman committed suicide. She killed herself because the community that she was in, that she supported, attacked her. She left a little girl on this earth to not have their mother anymore because the own community that just said, we're tired of this cancel culture. We're tired of this men and women that are saying offensive things about the LGBT community. They attacked one of their own to a certain point where they had to take their own life. I think at that point, if you can't listen to a comedy special of Dave Chappelle through and through and hear that story and realize that Dave Chappelle really isn't the problem, it's something else that you haven't figured out where to attack that anger at yet, then I think at that point, that's where you got to sit back. You got to talk to yourself. It's that man spit logic. He literally spit logic during that story.
Bars.
And if you couldn't hear like the empathy he had, he started a college fund for a stranger's child.
They don't want to hear that though.
And even Dave Chappelle's rich. Dave Chappelle got all the money in the world. That's whatever. But that person affected him so much that he just told that child, "I have you for the rest of your life." If that man was really anti,
that's not love. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, if that man was really anti the community. You really think he would do that?
I mean,
like he doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to tell the story either. If you want to get that angle, like, oh, he's using purple abyss. He doesn't have to tell that story.
He's fucking Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
It's fucking Dave Chappelle.
Crazy.
The Chappelle show was on before y'all niggas had this movement. Don't come at Dave Chappelle.
That's even worse. When y'all don't cancel my old shit. If it was funny back in the day,
come on,
let it stay.
Come on, ooh,
like just leave that shit alone.
He preach it.
Because it's real wild. Like every side of comedy. If it was back funny in there and people were not rioting when they said it back then,
you cannot bring it back 24 years in the future and be like, I'm mad. Shut the fuck up.
Like,
don't do that.
How you gonna cancel Eminem? That was the funniest thing to me. People really try to cancel Eminem on some shit, and it was like because he was appropriating the Mexican culture.
What?
Really?
Cancel culture has got to be the funniest thing. Like it's the funniest thing.
Pick and choose, and you just pick that cherry today, that apple tomorrow, the orange, and you just pick.
It's truly hypocrisy at its finest, but Yeah, enough of that.
We about to get canceled next. Look.
But I mean, at the end of the day, every time I talk about this, I always say shout out to the LGBTQ plus. It's always a safe space around me. We're just trying to, I guess, have a constructive dialogue about it from both sides. I'm obviously going to have some LGBTQ people up here.
You want to talk about that wild moment in comments where I was proud of you?
No, we're not going to talk about that because there's no LGBTQ people in the room, and I don't want to keep speaking on them.
Fair enough. Yeah, without having them representative.
Without having them represent them. So we're going to elaborate deeper when we actually get some of them in here. You know what I mean? And we can start really talking about it. But that's all we're going to say about that. So shout out to y'all. It's always a safe space. I keep saying that when that's true. Y'all niggas who know me know. So moving on to the next thing, and this might be the creme de la creme for you. Look at your face. We're gonna be talking about Caucasians. Hey, white people. Hey, my mans. Okay. I guess I'm always say the same thing. You know, I don't got no beef with white people. Shout out to y'all once again. It's no issue. It's the idea of whiteness I have a problem with, right? Because not all white people embody this idea. So it's the idea of whiteness, and that goes and something that actually was interesting to me is when I moved down to Houston, I didn't understand the way a lot of Mexican people embody that sentiment. I didn't know a lot of Mexican people embodied that whiteness. I had no idea. I'm coming from Canada. Like, yeah, we all gang. So I come down here to Houston. Obviously, black people around, we vibing. Mexican people, I'm like, hey, we vibing too. But no, I was wrong. They really wasn't fucking with us. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Aren't we on the same side here? And then my friends had to educate me like, no, bro. A lot of these dudes, they take on, you know what I mean? They embody that sense of whiteness. Like they obviously they're quote unquote also minorities, but they're not on the same side. So I guess I'm going to ask you about that. I guess your interaction with it, how you feel about it, whether you agree or disagree with the idea of whiteness and how it's a separate thing from white people.
So I want to get back on the Mexican part real quick. When you say whiteness, are you talking about like country Mexican, or are you talking about just like real whiteness? They take on that culture of whiteness.
Oh, I really don't know, to be honest. What is the difference?
To me, like the difference between like there's the white appropriation to where it's like white people where it's just like my shit don't stink, my clothes is better, my bitch is better. Like it's that concept of like you know where I'm going with that.
My bitch is better than yours. My car faster than yours. My house bigger than yours. Just go crazy.
But it's that concept of where it's just like I am superior than you. I am lower than you. You could be living in a 4-bedroom house, three bath. I'm living in an apartment, and I automatically just know I'm better than you with everything I could be at. I don't even know you. There's that part of whiteness to me, and then there's a part of like where what I want to ask is like I've met a lot of Hispanics that are and dropped into like the ranchero community and the culture. And I wanted to see if that's what you were interpreting between white and country.
No. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the general sentiment. Like the first thing you said is pretty on point.
Okay, that's
because it's one thing if you're like surrounded by it and you still, you know what I mean? Like you kind of maybe take on some mannerisms, but you don't look at people differently. But it's that idea of whiteness that makes you look down on people because that's their specialty. You feel me? So, and a lot of cultures have kind of taken that up, right? When we also talk about the colorism and division in the black community, it's that same sickness that has caught us too, right? The way we look down on each other. So, I guess talk about that, man. Talk about your experience with white people, because you know we talked about the fact that I always had a white best friend. I've always had a white best friend, so that allows me to look at white people through a clear lens, I guess. You know what I mean? I'm a bit biased just because it's like there's only been one white guy in my life that just showed me a crazy amount of love, him and his family. So it's always like I'm never ever gonna paint all of them with that same brush. Like it's just not. I'm not gonna do it.
That's hard because I think like for me, it's like I've had so many different experiences with all cultures, but white has been a melting pot of shit. And what I mean that is like not good shit, not bad shit, but it's just like I've literally seen like before, like I said, I went to an all black high school. I hung out with Hispanics. Blacks told me I wasn't black enough.
Yeah.
So I go to college. I rushed a fraternity. The Defined Nine were all kicked off. All the male fraternities were all kicked off for hazing.
Crazy.
So I get on campus and my Hispanic buddy convinced me to rush a fraternity. So when I rush Sigma Nu, and as I'm rushing,
shout out to y'all.
As I'm rushing, like it's a whole melting pot of dudes: black, Hispanic, Arabian, white. Majority of the chapter was white though. And as I'm rushing, talking to these dudes, chatting it up and stuff like that, not one of them ever gave me a vibe of just like country boy. If I could get you out there in the back, boy, you ain't ever coming back. I'd never had one of those experiences like that before. And so I always just, when I was interacting with them, I was like, damn, like these are really cool people. And this is the most experience I've ever had with all whites surrounding me. And I'm the only like quote unquote token.
Surrounded.
And so, but it also with I had 3 pledge brothers that were black. And so while we were going through that, we picked out the ones that we were just like, I don't fucking know. I don't know if you could be one of those dudes where it's just like, you're going to let the hard R slip out in front of your buddies, but around me, you're going to make sure you stay cool.
Ooh, yeah, be careful with that.
And that was one of the craziest things. But this is, if I get off topic, bring me back to this. Because one of my good
tangent. Go, my nigga.
Nah, because one of the things for me was just like, one of the biggest country redneck bumpkins, has 2 pistol tattoos on his chest, has a cowboy tatted on his chest, 6'6", 300 pounds, like white, if you quote unquote white trash, just like real country boy.
Yeah.
And
boy.
I looked at him and I was like, one, you scared the out of me. You literally scare me. I don't think I wouldn't fight you if God was on my backside. I ain't no way. And so once I got in the fraternity, started being around him and stuff like that, he took me in like a little big brother. And it was one of the craziest things because he taught me everything about like college and life. And he gave me all the stuff I wanted from my own 2 big brothers that I never got. And so interacting with him, I was just like, damn, like you're good people. But his little that he wanted me to take as a big was one of the most racist men I've met.
Damn.
This man literally told me, funniest shit ever. He was like, my family adopted a black kid. It is right when Sandra Bullock, like the Blindside movie came out. So I was like, this man is not quoting to me the Sandra Bullock movie, Blindside, just give me the Russell's fraternity. There ain't no fucking way. And sure as shit, when I actually go on Facebook, they actually did adopt a black kid.
Oh my
They really
God.
did. But I mean, he was one of those boys where he would literally, in front of his friends, say the hard R. Very racist. Like very much like, I like you, but I don't like your kind type white. And so it was one of those things where it was just like, it showed to me where it was just like, don't always judge a book by its color because you really never know. But at the same time, it was just like, I found some of my best friends in a quote unquote white fraternity. Some of my boys, majority of my like best men and probably majority of my groomsmen gonna be Hispanic, white, black, and a few like it's just something like a lot of my fraternity brothers that I'm close with were like my boys. They're still my boys to this day. So that's always been one of the things for me where it's just like I never looked into the fraternity saying I'm trying to find white friends. Yeah. I'm trying to find like I only want to hang out with whites. It happened that way. And unfortunately I found the best friends of my life. Now, the crazy part is one of my boys, he actually lives out here. We were hanging out one night, we were chatting. And as we were talking, he just made a wild comment to this young lady in the line of a bar. And he was just like, yeah, no offense, quoting him.
No offense.
No offense.
I mean, if you offended, fuck it.
It was quoting him, and he was saying that, hey, I'm an accountant. He looks back at this Asian young lady behind him and was like, you must be good at math too. And I said, there is no way you just said that. And he was just like, what? And I was just like, you did not just tell her that. And then her boyfriend's standing right there too. So I'm like, all right, bro, we're about to get a fight. Like, I already know some shit's about to go wild. And sure as shit, she's just like, I'm an accountant. I said, thank God.
She said, I'm an accountant?
Yeah, she actually was an accountant. So I was like, dodge a bullet.
He got lucky.
Lucky.
Because, like, what? She should have been more offended, low-key.
We were offended for her.
Low-key.
So we take him back to the crib, and we're talking to him. Me and my other buddy that's black in our fraternity as well. They're both younger guys than me in my line. Not line, but in my fraternity. And so we're talking to him, and we're just like, where did you really get off by saying that?
Yeah, who the fuck you think you are?
And he was trying to like bring it up like, oh, it was a joke. So under comedy, it's already protected. I was like, no, you're not comedy. They're like, and you don't know her.
You don't know her. You can't make those jokes to strangers.
Yeah,
it goes without saying, niggas, but niggas are dumb.
So then he makes a comment, and so we start talking about it, and we got an opinion of black people. I was like, if that's how you feel about Asians, let's see how you feel about blacks.
Oh shit! And he told you?
Oh, told me.
Oh,
and it was and I mean, like, this is like when I say like take people under my wing, it was like little homies,
little homie, yeah.
And so I was just like, really? And he was just like, what did he say? Some wild shit. He was just like, the government fucked up the black home, and it's the reason why black men are the way they are is because they don't have support from their fathers. But he was like, it's because that the black women though are stuck on governmental funding. They'll never get off. And I said,
oh my
what?
God. I can't roll my eyes any harder.
And I was just like, you really believe this? And I said, where are you getting your information? And he was like, oh, these news people. I said, what race are they?
Oh my God.
All white men.
Oh, of course.
So I said, it's very interesting that you're taking opinion. And the worst part was like, I was more articulated about it that night. This is like 4 a.m. by me. I'm drunk. My buddy's drunk. My other buddy, this black, is drunk. And this guy's drunk. His girlfriend's like sleeping in the bed because she was tired of our bullshit. So he can't articulate how he feels because he's pissed and he can't articulate the science behind it, the numbers behind it. So I'm doing it for him. And as I'm looking at it, as I'm saying it, I was just like, nah, I'm giving you numbers. I'm not giving you like, oh, I believe this or I feel this way because I was raised by a single mother. I was like, I'm giving you numbers right now. This is actually like facts. And he was just like, well, the people I got my statistics from, I said are white men. And as we say statistics, how are you going to tell me, a black man that's lived this life for 26 years,
about my life,
when you're getting this number from a white man
who's never lived a day
in his life as a black man, but he wholeheartedly. And I was like, you're an accountant, right? Yeah. So as an accountant, do you really believe I can outdo you as an accountant? You had years of studying this, right? You passed tests for this, right? So how can
logic on their ass?
And he still wouldn't get it.
Oh, he didn't shift? He didn't fold?
Oh, didn't fold.
I mean, well, he's just stubborn.
And that's
all it is.
But you know what the crazy part is? His mother was the same way.
There's just stubbornness?
No, his mother gave him that institutional racism. And so it was a very maniacal thing that me and my other buddy learned.
So it's just hereditary for some people.
Because my buddy tried talking to his sister. And his sister was loving it. She was loving her black king. And then she realized that her mother wouldn't agree to it. Her brother wouldn't agree to it.
Oh, shit.
And then he hung out with the mom and was like, oh, yeah, no, this would never work.
Oh, because he talked to the mom like, wow, you're just so fucking racist. I don't even want to sleep with your daughter anymore.
So it was one of those things where it was just like, that is literally sometimes what you experience. But it's just like, I've realized that I've made amazing friends off of every single culture.
Okay.
And I will always have my brothers that I will take a shot for that might have came from a white fraternity. That's fine.
Don't matter.
My father was a Kappa. My older brother was an Omega.
Okay.
And so if they don't have a problem with me rushing a fraternity that was not black,
none of y'all niggas shit.
I don't care what the fuck none of y'all niggas say.
Y'all niggas shit.
It's crazy.
Yo, come
it's
on,
real
man.
crazy.
Right?
And it's like,
I think y'all are.
and I understand like the history behind it. I get that. But the history behind that does not make me not black. Now, the day I give that up and I'm one of the whites and the one I'm riding down here on the back of a Trump sticker and I'm running, like
I won't even let that fucking happen. Nice try.
But the day that I do some wild shit like that to then disrespect my own blackness, then put me on the cross and crucify me.
And we will. So that's
100%,
all right.
100%.
We will.
But that's my Caucasian. It's my whiteness. It's literally, it's just like, I don't like to demonize. I don't like to demonize.
Demonize.
I don't like to demonize nobody. There's one thing I've heard from some people is like, I just demonize. I don't like all white people are devils.
Yeah, I hear that too.
And it's real crazy to me. It's just because like I've learned, unfortunately, how to play the system to where I know how to talk to people and not even make them feel comfortable, but talk to them in such a way, articulate a certain way that they will work for me. And why would I ever tell someone that is white that, hey, I'm not going to use the ladder you're giving me for success because you're white. I'm going to push that ladder away and then go climb this mountain.
I'm gonna go struggle over here for no reason.
Like no, but I'm not gonna lick your boot. I'm not gonna say you're God and be like, thank you so much for this.
You're just a regular person at the end of the day.
And I appreciate you for your help. I'm not gonna turn that down and treat you like a demon. Don't look at me and treat me like some just dude on the side of the road. It's just like commerce. It's respect the whole across the board. But I think that's why I say unity. I think, unfortunately, sometimes we look at unity as, and it should be to a degree, unity of only us. But I think sometimes we do have to realize that there is a pool of us and then a pool of them at a higher level. And if each person extends their hand out in our group and puts our hand out to reach one of those other hands, we all going higher.
Yeah.
And it sucks that we have to use their benefits. But if not, we're going to sit here and keep fighting these hard-ass fights we don't have to fight.
It sounds like, I mean, yo, you said it all. Sounds like, don't be too prideful. That sounds like, be humble. Be humble.
Humble, because you could be humble and prideful, but I think it's just like
you can be humble and I guess, right? You can.
Yeah, you do a fantastic job at it. You do a fantastic job.
I do a great job of being humble.
Never mind. This season's like what happens. You give him 1 inch, he takes 30 miles. But
I had that property anyway. But carry on.
But I think it's just like it's a very small constraint of just like I don't know where I was going.
You lost it? No. I'm gonna help you land. Well, I mean, I was trying to help you land, but I guess where you were going with all of this is just in terms of your experience and the melting pot that you've been in. It's kind of giving you that holistic perspective. And like where I was carrying, like I guess picking up from where you were coming off is just that, like that unity is not just us. And that's my view as well. You know me. Like I'm into the whole interconnectedness of the world, the holistic nature of humanity. Like obviously I love my Blackness, I love my people, but personally we have to look beyond that at some point. And I always believe that. Like we can't get stuck on this point and this level, and we have to do what we have to do for ourselves, and then let's progress. And that's how I feel. And like, and progression isn't communicating every other race. that's not progress to me. Like progression isn't new age, isn't neo segregation. Like that's not progress to me, right? It's all of us recognizing that first and foremost we're all human beings. And this idea of race is just, it's an arbitrary term used to divide us. And and the funniest part about race is that it literally doesn't mean anything. Like literally and figuratively, it doesn't really have a proper meaning. Like, but
No, I love that point. Keep going.
yeah, I was gonna say, because like when you think about it, it's just like your ethnicity, your nationality. That's how we define race. And it's funny because I was in class and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna use that word. Y'all are some bullshit. I was like, yeah, we're talking about race and no, sorry, see, I just used it. How hard it is. I was like, we're talking about nationality and ethnicity. My teacher was like, just call it what it is. You talk about race. I was like, oh, my bad. These can't be separated, huh? This is forever one thing. And it's like, we have to look past that.
That's one thing it popped in my head though. The hard R.
The hard R. Ooh,
The hard R.
What about it?
So my curiosity is this: you hear the hard R from someone that is not your race. How do you feel?
How do I feel? Naturally, I'm automatically offended. But I'm not angry, so to speak. You know what I mean? I'm not angry yet, because I'm not gonna say I'm like, I'm not like super confrontational, but we could talk about it. Like, it's not gonna be, let's just fight it out, because at this point, like, we're ESQ. Like, I'm above fighting niggas in the street. Like,
let's not even put ESQ in front of it. When you were younger, let's say college, when you heard the hard R from someone else your race,
I mean,
what was the automatic switch that kicked in your head?
Automatic switch. It's like, okay, well, you have two options: either apologize or we fighting. So that's kind of all it is. And you lucky I gave you two options. So that's kind of where we were at with that.
So the wild part, and I think this is part of my Caucasian story, is like the wild part for me was like I did a summer internship in Wisconsin. And out there, I was in a town of 210 people. They didn't have Wi-Fi. You did not have cell phone service if you did not have Verizon. Every other cell phone service, you did not have service in that town. The only black man for probably
miles
10 counties. Like literally, when I pulled into the county, they already were shocked to see the car because they didn't know what the car was. They saw me out the car. I had 5 people come up to the house I was staying at. It was a little Airbnb, like bed and breakfast before Airbnb was a thing. And they were like, would you like to come talk to us about the Lord? We would love to have you at our sermon.
Oh, man.
And I was just like, no, thank you. I'll come to the church at this event, whatever. But I was just like, they were all just trying to meet me. And I was like, I'm very surprised because this is out the boonies. So I was like, I was not expecting like a welcoming acceptance.
Yeah.
I'm out at the bar and this black dude's talking to me. This white dude's talking to me, and I'm taking shots of gin. He's paying for them, and he just looks over at me, and he was just like,
"He's paying for him."
No, hold on, hold on. You'll figure out why he's paying for it. He looks at me, and he was like, "You're not like the normal blacks." And and this is like back in 2015, so I'm young, I'm a hothead, my neck kind of turned,
about to swing.
And I said, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I like you. The other blacks around here, they ain't like that." And I said, luckily, we were already talking about guns for this. So I knew I carried, but mine was at the house. He carried his in his car.
His gun was a bit closer, so he has to move accordingly.
So I looked at him and I just said, so what do you say like that? And we had a whole conversation about that, but I literally told him, I said, now, right now, I was offended by that. You drive home, I'm calling the cops on you. He said, what you mean? I said, you can go to jail right now for being intoxicated, right? Driving home? He's like, yeah. You can be in jail for having a gun and being intoxicated, right? He's like, yeah. So you drive out that motherfucker, and I called the cops. What's stopping me? And we had like a real conversation, just literally just about like, and it was more like, and that came more to the concept. He was just like, you're intelligent. He didn't realize that I was intelligent about that kind of stuff. He wasn't, he didn't think that a black person could know like gun laws and stuff like that. Apparently. It was very shocking to me. But it's one of those things where it's like I've had multiple people talk to me. And when I was in college too, I was a bartender, security guard at a bar, country shows all the time. I'd listen to little white boys, and one of my buddies told me, he said it. I said, what? And they were already kicking the kid out, and I just run down the stairs, throw the kid out of the fucking bar, and he's like, boy, and I said, call me boy again. I'm coming across the street. And that when I realized though, that should have clicked in my head a long time ago. Why does that make me mad? Why? I know what boy has its connotation for.
Yeah.
Why does that make me mad? I know it makes me mad because I'm offended by what he's saying.
Yeah.
But I'm about to go assault this kid off my bar's property. I have no insurance anymore. I'm not covered by nothing.
You about to catch a charge.
It's assault at that point.
Catch a charge, yeah.
And so one time a dude talked to me. He was just like, and Trevor Noah has a skit about it too. But it's
Shout out
just
Trevor Noah.
here in this country, it has so much effect on us.
Yes.
But if you told someone that was black from a different country, from Egypt, from Africa, like anywhere, they called them the hard R, they would not be offended. Word. I realized at that point, I was like, I'm really risking
Everything.
to let someone get under my skin.
100%.
Because if I let him say that word, I'm mad.
Yeah.
But when I react, he wins.
I mean, you're 100% correct, but I'm torn with that.
No, I get what you're saying.
I'm so torn.
I get what you're saying 100%. But I think, but it's my concept is just like the word was created to control us.
Yeah, and
the
it's
word
doing its job. That's for sure.
The word is given to us to put us in a different class and to put us lower than them.
Yeah.
It's an offensive term, yes. But if we still sit here and allow this offensive term so much power over us, because what's going to happen is this. Someone walks on the street and calls you the hard R and you keep walking, will they keep doing it to people? No. Because people, I'm not saying everyone's going to just one day just say the hard R is make us mad. But if we all kind of just said...
It's all about the impact that word has, what you're saying.
Because if we allow them to keep having that impact, they're going to keep using it.
So if we reduce the impact, the tool becomes worthless. I mean, hey, that's a valid point, but I'll only say I do agree wholeheartedly. It's just easier said than done.
Oh no, 100%, 100%.
And
like I said, that's why I said like now at this age of 27,
you can control yourself a bit more. Like so
much easier for me to literally just I just thought about it. I'm just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's that point, like I said, my younger me, I was lit. I was ready to fight. I've gotten in multiple fights before because of it.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm 27, trying to have a family, trying to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
I let one person of any race say it.
Yeah.
And that sets me off to ruin my entire goals that I have for my life.
Yeah. Doesn't make no sense.
That dude gets one good licking that he'll forget 6 months.
In fact, he'll heal.
He'll heal. But my shit's over with.
Yeah. Poof. Hey man, so consider that, my niggas. I love what this conversation turned into, honestly, from what it began. So I'm excited for everybody to hear that, but we're not done yet. So slide into the next topic. This is always one of my favorite. Anyway, so slide into this next topic. It's definitely one of my favorite topics to talk about on the podcast, just because it's something that bothers me, and it's it bothers me deeply. And I'm always going to reiterate this point every time we come to this part of the episode. It's about poverty. That's what we're talking about. It's about poverty, right? And obviously, we're all fortunate. We live in the first world, an abundance of first world privileges. As much as you want to complain about whatever struggle we go through, it's not. It's not real. Like we're still so fortunate for our circumstances. Even we have whatever minor issue, right? Like they towed my car. I was like, oh, what was me? But I had a friend to drive me, and I had the money to get the car back. So it's like, what type of struggle was that? You know what I mean? Like all that shit is. I'm fortunate. I'm privileged. So being, I guess, born, in Nigeria, my parents never let me forget that privilege. Never let me forget how it was. Like, and I don't know if you heard this growing up, but my mom used to tell me when I used to waste food, she used to tell me like, yo, there are kids in Africa who are starving. And it's just so funny because she was never playing. She was never, and like, I took it as a joke when I was young, like, shut up, go give it to them.
Hey, go give it to them.
Yeah, they did it. But it's like, you grow older and like, my mom never stopped saying that. And so it's like, nah, that's real shit. It's like there are people who really don't even have clean water, but we waste gallons of it every day taking a shower. You know what I mean? There's people who eat scraps and don't even go 24 hours without eating, but we throw food away. You know what I mean? Like, it's just shit like that. And so I said that to say, like, what are your thoughts on poverty and the idea that it's man-made? Because this is our fault. Poverty is our fault. There's enough. Let's talk about it. Because let's talk about it. Because there's enough for everybody. Do you agree? On this world, there is enough for everybody.
What is enough? What do you mean by enough?
I mean the necessities for life: food, clothing, shelter, adequate healthcare, adequate.
That's Canadian in you. That's the Canadian in you.
That's not but okay, that's a Canadian in me. But like, I actually no, it's not, because all over the world there is enough. If you think about the totality of resources on this earth. Wow. So you think there's not enough food for everybody in the world?
We're in a food shortage right now.
Man, shut the fuck
Economically, we are in a food shortage right now.
Don't talk to me about economics when niggas manipulate shit.
What do you mean? All right, yeah, this is our Brenton moment. What do you mean?
Because you're talking about, because what you're trying to say right now, there's like, you're trying to say there's a food shortage in the world? Like, really?
So I get where you're going with, and I think your topic is that
it's poverty.
No, yeah, we're going to disagree on this one easily.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so what two elements, the way I want to hit this is, yes, it is man-made that we do not use the resources that we are then getting rid of, food, really just food, because I really don't know, housing is a hard one for you to equate housing and spaces to let homeless stay and stuff like that. It's a hard one to go through. But food. Yes, every business throws away food. Yes. Every business has scraps. Yes. Every business has waste. Yes. Unfortunately, every business and the government itself do not know how to manage that correctly. Yes. Put that into the mouths of people that need it. Mm-hmm. There's a twist to that. There's a lot of amazing food banks that do that. Mm-hmm. Amazing food banks that go to companies and say, hey, you have this leftover packaging. These fruits don't look right. Fruits are shaped a little funny. Can we give this to people that are in need? There's so many food kitchens around the world that can give the food needed to people in poverty. There's resources to get it. But I think the greatest thing in the world is that, not greatest, I think the most redundant thing in the world is that we gave so much money to like Ukraine, millions of dollars to help a country on the other side of the world that is going through something extremely hard. We have Americans that don't have running water systems in their counties. Yes. I'm not even talking about homeless people not having that.
I'm talking about Flint.
Not even Flint, but yeah, like not even Flint. But Jackson State right now. I think Jackson State right now with Deion Sanders.
In Mississippi and shit, they're going through some
They don't have clean water either. They have to move their kids from the college to a different place.
Okay, so I said. So then let's talk about it. Then is it the misallocation, the improper allocation of resources, and also the capitalistic mentality that prevents people from giving shit away? That's the larger issue.
So yes and no. So it's a concept of yes. No one knows. People don't know how to do it correctly. Everyone that takes these jobs or is a city governor, like if I ran for politics right now to be the mayor, I went to school for agriculture business. I went to get my law degree. I worked for a agriculture company to learn how to make crops and make that for livestock food. I get my law degree. I go practice law. Now I'm the mayor. I don't have any business acronym about anything accounting wise. I have no business acronym about anything when it comes to
the acronym acumen.
You know what I meant.
Well, I gotta say something if I'm gonna publish this.
Fair enough.
Can't let niggas just think.
Hey, I'm getting an ESQ. I ain't an English teacher. Leave me alone.
All right, go ahead.
Well, you got spell check for it. Anyways,
facts.
But no, like so, it's really just like people that get into these positions don't have the well-rounded knowledge to everything, but they delegate it to someone else. Yes. So sometimes you're boys. I'm gonna make my boy come and get in this position. Me and my boy gonna run this position together, and unfortunately, my boy don't know nothing about it either. So we unfortunately have the blind leading the blind, and to get to situations where it comes to the capitalism, where we want to use funding for our recampaign compared to fixing infrastructure. But I think that that's one concept of that. The money that we allocate from our government does not go into the right places. Okay. Two, the resources that we have to then make sure that people that are in our own country are taken care of aren't exercised to the point they need to be. Okay. We do not either fund them well enough. We do not make sure they're being run correctly. Okay. So you have individuals that are on the side of the highway that are sitting out here with signs saying, hey, I need food. Yeah. Now, every person that drives by, I do it every time. If I have a 4 for $4 and I didn't finish the burger yet, I'm going to give this dude the burger because I can still put gas in my truck and drive home. He's sitting on the side of the road. It's like me, there's a level to it, and a burger is nothing. But sometimes like we don't ever think about it. It's just like these people are going through a lot more. And I think it's one of those things where it really does come into politics where it's just like, do you want to spend millions of dollars to help get people off the street rehabilitated? and that success rate is bad, you continue to do the projects. Because the humanitarian aspect behind it is, yes, keep putting millions of dollars
into people, into humanity.
People. But what happens if those people keep proving you wrong? It's a business. You're going to be treated like a business. If you're not succeeding on getting these people back,
we'll just print more money.
And then we have inflation like we do.
Yeah, but we just going to... That doesn't stop us from printing money.
Hey, and that's why our economy's fucked up right now.
Yeah, exactly. So at least let's fuck up our economy doing the right thing. How about that? Let's fuck up our economy doing the right thing, right? You never know what could come of it.
It's crazy.
Let's try that.
Like you can literally, you could go give your life up to this country and go get any kind of disability over there overseas protecting our country. Yeah. And you come back, the VA is the most fucked up institution we got.
Yeah. Let's not even talk about that whole the way they treat veterans. That's a whole. We could talk about that for days. But I want to what was I about to say? I guess I want to talk about solutions. Because I guess my main issue with poverty and things like that is just, and my main issue with like reality, honestly, a lot of the world. Actually, no. Before I say that, I want to say this. It's interesting how I'm always thinking on a global scale, but the first thing you think about is this country is like America. You know what I mean? Like the scale you're thinking about America.
Only reason that is though is because like I understand there's so many other problems in the world that are unjust and unwrong. Yeah. And that giving the money that we can to them, just like poverty here, is I know that you're doing worse than me. Yeah. So let's give you money to make sure that you're okay. But I also believe that if we're not taking care of our own and making a better country here, but outsourcing everywhere else to take care of other people, we can never
fully help them.
We can never.
That's facts. You do have to help yourself before you can help anybody else. I would definitely co-sign that. And I have a question. Do you think people are unwilling to sacrifice their wealth to make a positive impact?
100%.
100%. Just like that.
Because you have to. You have to.
You have to. Okay.
You have to, but it's the concept of you're grinding every day as an American for more wealth.
Yes.
To become sustainable and do whatever life you want to do.
Yes.
So instinctively, everyone that teaches you about money tells you, every big money manager on YouTube, TikTok, social media, all tell you to keep your money. Yeah. Because when you give your money away, what happens to every NBA player that gives his money away to his family?
You get poor.
Broke.
You get poor.
And then what happens when they become broke after supporting everybody? Nobody helps them.
Nobody holds them down.
Michael Beasley.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Nobody holds them down.
It's just, when it's one of those things, it's just like, unfortunately, it's the concept that we have been trained is that take care of yourself. And then if you have excess, give it to others.
Very individualistic around here. So, okay, to end that off, I have a question for you. Because I don't know if we talked about this before. How much money are you willing to die with?
Die with?
Die with, man. Because death comes abruptly. And that's why I never wanted... I mean, hey, let's just call it what it is. Niggas die every day, B. So cherish life. But I'm just saying. Because I say that to say... People hoard money, right? We just talked about it. We can say, oh, keep your money, stash it, hold on to it. You're fucking hoarding it. Y'all are hoarders. Y'all don't realize it. You're hoarders. Because, like, it's never going to be enough. So that's why I say y'all are generally hoarders. Because there's no cap. There's no limit. There's no goal, no end point. It's whatever you reach a milli. Oh, I need 10 milli. Oh, I hit 10. I need 100. I hit 100. I need a half a billy. I hit a billy. Well, shit, let's go to space. You know what I mean? So, like, there's no limit. So I want to ask you, how much money is enough for you? Or is there no limit for you as well? That's a fair answer. Let me know.
I wouldn't say there's no limit. I just think to me is like, prime example, no health insurance. If I could die and leave if I have 3 kids and leave them probably 100K each or 150K each for 3 kids, even 2, but at least leave them enough amount of money to where that whatever they're going through in life, while the time that I am dead, probably for the next 10 to 5 years, if they had an emergency, they have this pot of gold they can reach into, I'm good with that.
So give me an amount.
I told you, 150.
Okay.
Per kid.
Okay, so you're trying to die, but how much? Oh, but that's like trust, and that's like trust.
Yeah. What you mean?
But okay, but you yourself, how much you want to have in the bank when you die?
Are you sick? What do you mean?
Okay, for example, I'll give you myself. I don't want to have no more than 10 mil at a time. That's how much money I'm comfortable dying with. Because if I get any...
Hell no. You wild.
Because if I get any more than that, I plan to use it and put it back into the community. So I literally don't want to hoard any money past that 10 mil. Like I don't want to just have it.
Give me half a mil then. Oh, half a mil.
Oh, I'm doing too much.
Nigga, you said 1.5 mil.
No, I said I said 10 mil.
Oh, so I'm doing too much at half a mil?
No, that's what I'm saying. Your amount was kind of low. My amount seems kind of high. And you know what? He's the first person to make me feel like that's a high amount. Everybody's like, only 10 mil, not really realizing how fucking much 10 mil is. But anyway, so this kind of bleeds into the next discussion about globalization.
Lord.
Yeah, I know, right? It's interesting, but same thing. How do you feel about globalization? Like, what does that mean to you?
I'm gonna shrug my shoulders. I don't know what the hell.
Okay, I'm gonna preface it because I have to preface it. It's y'all are gonna get tired of hearing this story about this whack ass teacher. I mean, actually, don't let me diss him. He was a cool teacher, but I had this one teacher at university, and he was teaching us about globalization, and he romanticized the fuck out of it. He was like, yeah, it's the shrinking of the world. We're all becoming more interconnected. Things reach end to end quicker. More people can benefit from, I guess, the labor of others. It helps everybody, right? But obviously, in reality, what happens is us, first world country, we go to some second and third world country. We abuse their labor laws. We take them for profit, and we usually give nothing back. And we pay them within, once again, their labor laws, right? But it's nickels and dimes to us. So the distribution of wealth, it's not really helping them essentially. Like, but that's the guys, right? That's the ruse. It's like, oh, I'm opening this factory over here. Y'all gonna be good with it though. But the practice of it in reality is not always like that. So that's what I mean by globalization and the idea of us really being more connected.
I think there's like so many different levels on that, because you could think about like the good old days, like our parents, my parents at least, like they knew each other when they were kids. They grew up in the same, they went to the same hospital, came out of the same hospital. They went to the same high school. They've known each other all their lives. Mm-hmm. And then when they got married in their 40s, like that was a concept back in that day where you met your sweetheart and it was game over.
Yeah.
Now I can get on Twitch, meet a chick from Siberia, and fall in love.
Twitch. If y'all are meeting women on Twitch, you have to reevaluate. That's actually not where you meet women.
Yeah. Calm down. But no, like, so it's a different world where it's like now we do have the access to, if I really wanted to skip class or during my Christmas break, go overseas, go travel the world,
go pick a bitch up,
go experience something a whole why picking a bitch up? Go experience something a whole different in the world. Our parents never got that. Like our parents never had the ability or accessibility just to drop on the drop of a dime, go experience a hell another world and be accepted. Yeah, and then be able to come back. But I do believe that, I think it's unfortunate. It's just like
pros and cons.
It's pros and cons, because I think that if our world was not so confrontational, that we
and individualistic, right?
Yeah, we really could become a more unified world of all humans, because you're thinking about it as like we need grains from all these countries, like we're talking about.
We
Ukraine.
need trade, of course.
Trade
is
and it's
natural.
just like, right now it's just like if we have conflict. And we're beefing between each other. Now this conflict is now having a problem. Now we can't get these resources that we need because of these conflicts of egos of men. Not countries, egos of men. So it's unfortunate, but
patriarchy.
I really do believe like if we had a more unified world as well, it would be so much easier.
I mean, yeah, and that's why he kind of annoyed me, because he made it seem so fucking ideal. I talk about it in my first season. I'm like, yeah, like many things in reality, the ideal practice of those things are ideal. But reality is never ideal. It can never be like that. So like, cut it out. Everybody cut 100%. It out. But I appreciate, I guess, the delusion. I appreciate the idea. I appreciate the dream, the sentiment. But reality just has to kind of fall in line.
I get where you're going with it when you think of it as like, if I just sit here and I'm just like, we can be better. We're gonna do better. Like if we just try, like. If you sit there with that ideology, like it's delusional, because it won't work in a drop of a dime. We're all gonna be like, we're all in this. No, we're not doing that. But it's like, but I think it's like if we actually came up with solutions to fix what's going wrong between all these different people, then we really could have that unified identity. But until then, like I think unfortunate is like we have to have a national disaster. So all of us to be on the same page
to galvanize us.
That's the worst thing ever.
Humanity is so silly. Why are we like this? We have to have some type of tragedy for us to really just chill out and be one. But the gag is, we can do that right now, guys. We don't have to wait for some crazy shit to happen. We can really just team up. You know,
doesn't need an earthquake, doesn't need a tsunami, storm.
We actually don't need any type of disaster to happen. We can really just, you know, be on the same side. What I want to actually talk to you about now is religion.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we got to talk about this because everybody who knows me, you know, I bear no religion. I have no faith. This is common knowledge. All I believe in reality. This is all we got. This is all I'm rocking with. So, but I'm interested to hearing everybody else's perspective on it. And I will say one thing. Being down here in Houston for the first time in my life, being surrounded by such a heavy population of Black America, y'all niggas make it hard to not be religious. It's just so much God around me. I damn near want to go to church. Y'all out here fucking me up because y'all niggas, y'all just believe so strongly. I'm looking at y'all like, yo, why? Like, why? But it's just a foregone conclusion for a lot of y'all. It's like, it's not even up for debate. There's no disputing it. And it's like, I mean, maybe we should have some conversations about it, but hey, that's just me. So like being a product of this Southern hospitality, this deep Blackness in America that has, you know, created some sense of community and solidarity, especially in the church. Talk about that and like what it was like for you and what you feel about that today.
So one of my so I was saying is just that I grew up as a kid that was, at a young age, I was always involved in the church. My parents both believed in it. I was a preschool to fourth grade teacher, Sunday school teacher, was heavy into it, almost joined the church band at the Baptist church. Then my mother passed away. My father had me like really heavy into Pastor Ivy Hilliard's church out here in Houston. Went there all the time. And then at that point, I was, like I said, being more cynical. I just realized one day, I was just like, why are my tithes and offering being asked for twice? Once before praise and worship, once after praise and worship, and damn near when he was leaving to go to his other church, he'd ask again for money.
A goddamn racket.
And I was just like, and then it was like literally like a checkbox. It was just like for the pastor, for renovations. And the last one was like for fuel for his transportation in the helicopter to his other sermon. And I was just like,
they really, you know what? Shout out to that church for at least disclosing what the funds was doing.
And we're going to make money.
I appreciate the honesty at the very least. But anyway, carry on.
And so that was like the wildest thing to me. I was just like, we're not here about praise and worship. We're not here about building the church. We're here about your pockets. And so that kicked into me, and my mom passed away. And I was just like, if there's a God that everyone believes in, that everyone's pushing me to believe in, you would put a 17-year-old kid through that? Of a mom going through cancer. Sorry, she slipped her disc in the bathtub. She fell over. After she fell over, she went to get therapy. After the therapy, she went and got a scan, found out she had breast cancer. After the breast cancer, she did chemo. After the chemo, she died 6 months later. That whole story, if you believe in a God, and you said there's a God and he has all the answers, and his answer was, I'm going to put that kid through that, what kind of God is that?
Damn, and that's did it for you, huh?
And that's what did it for me, where I was just like, I've always praised and worship. I've always left in the church. I've always donated. I've always...
he said, I did my job.
I
did my job, God.
I did everything on the checklist that you guys asked me from A to B.
You took my mother.
And y'all did that to me. And so and the crazy part is just like, when you talk to people out here in Houston that would die on this, they're like, you gotta forgive. You gotta accept the Lord. I said,
I actually don't.
I really don't. I said, why should I?
Why?
I was like, if a dog bites you because you put his hand next to the food, you gonna do it again?
Right, redo.
You gonna learn your lesson.
Yeah.
You gonna keep moving.
Sure enough.
And so the craziest part to me is just like so many people in the church believe like, oh, the first thing they say is, oh, you're just damaged.
Oh my God.
And it was just like, wow, like they're not even trying to have a conversation about like breaking this down and being like, well, honey, the Lord had the Lord made you into the man you are
today.
today.
You ain't got a Bible passage for me, nothing.
Nah, you just really got a concept of like, oh, all you gotta do is forgive and you'll be better. And I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I've always just told people, believe what you want to believe. That's fine by me. Believe what you want to believe.
You got it.
Push that. But the thing too is like, you have to push your religion on someone. Why? And I think I don't have a problem with Christianity.
Okay.
I have a problem with the people that push it. Because if you believe in Christianity the way you should be able to speak the scripture. You should be able to talk, walk in the way of the Lord, and people should listen and follow.
Amen.
You should not do all of that and then expect men to bow down to you because now you're a false prophet, or you expect men to then, if you don't listen to me, it's damnation. Why is there a cause and effect?
It's all or nothing for real. Yeah, they wild.
If you really believe that the scripture is so amazing, the scripture should then open my eyes and make me believe. And I think that's my biggest beef, where it's just like, if you're pushing this that heavy on me, you believe it? I don't think you do. And so I think that's like the wildest aspect for me, is just like, I've always had, and like I said, I've been in the church. So when I meet these people that are just diehard, just like going to hell, your beliefs are wrong. God said every sin is equal. So when you lie to your wife, when you misbehave, you do all this and the third, nothing different from me. But now I'm the sinner. And then when you really believe that you can do someone wrong and ask them for forgiveness, and that makes that wrong now nullified, that's just illogical.
Yeah, we got some logical fallacies here. So that's yeah. I mean, that's what turns you off, and that's fair. And same thing with me. Like, I grew up in the church. Like, my mother was a Sunday school teacher, but after a lot of that nonsense, I was like, I think I'm good off this. I think I'm good off all y'all. And I have nothing personal against any religion. Like, he said Christianity, but I don't. All religion is actually the same to me. Yeah, all religion is honestly the same to me. Like, there's really not too much difference. So I'm not even going to hold on to any one of them. But
I say there's a difference.
I mean, yeah. You could say, oh, there's like differences and specifics and
Christianity is
particularities, all that good stuff. But like the whole general like idea of faith and the way people practice it, it's just whatever they believe, right? So that's why I feel like none of them are special. All y'all believe something, and you all are telling me y'all are correct. Sounds impossible to me, but hey,
even Narnia. Does that mean that calls it right there?
Yeah.
I'm about to jump into a whole other world.
So I mean, I'm not here to. I always land on the fact that I respect religion for what it is and what it does for people and to people and how it positively impacts their lives. But my landing point is and always will be: have some fucking moderation. Like, don't let shit just completely take over your reality so much so that you lose sight of reality. I know people who like, they're so lost in their religion. You telling some real shit, hey, just pray about it. It's like, no, I need tangible like, solve this realistically. No, pray about it, you'll be straight. That's actually not a feasible solution here. I need something real. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I mean by moderation. Don't lose reality. Like,
I think the only concept of the moderation part, and now I'm going backtrack on what I just said, is that if that works for you, go for it. Like, if faith gave you the will to live, if faith gave you the will to change what you're going through.
No, if what works for you, moderation or the lack of moderation? Like, just throw yourself into it.
I don't care if you throw yourself into the faith. It's just like the LGBTQ thing. Don't make me then have to follow it.
Okay, this is where I disagree. Because I know it's like, yeah, don't make me have to follow, but it's just about the general way with which we all move as humanity. And as much as nothing is by force of me, you know me, nothing's by force. I agree with him. Live your fucking life. But the way we interact with each other as human beings is now affected by the lens with which you view life with. You know what I mean? Like, you're so clouded by religion, the interactions of us as a whole are fucked up now.
The reason why I say I disagree is because it's just certain types. I'll stick on Christianity because it's just like, I have met some amazing pastors that are deep into the faith, and there's nothing wrong, and they still move and walk the same way with respect. Now, on the unfortunate side, you can flip that and say you've met some pastors that are very deep into the faith, and they have this interpretation of their faith. And now they treat you a certain way, and they move a certain way because they believe what the interpretation says is that now I have to act a certain way towards you.
And see, that's why I'm asking for moderation, because we could all interpret some shit a certain way. We could all, this for sure, case by case. And that's why whatever case you're on, let there be a limit. Let there be, okay, like, I believe this so strongly, but I'm not going to let it get past this point. Or, okay, even if I'm a villain, I'm not going to let it get past, you know what I mean? Like, let there be a point where you're like, okay, there's still reality here. But a lot of people, no shade, but it all blends. It all blends, and it becomes almost inseparable. Like, one of my really close friends, she can't even have conversations with her mother because she feels as though her mother's not in reality. It's so, like, she cries about it because she would try to talk to her mom about some real shit. It's just God, pray, religion. And she's like, Mom, I'm trying to talk to you. And she's just so lost. And I'm sure her mom's a wonderful person, but that's what I mean by modern. She's so lost in it. The people who are in reality trying to talk to you and deal with real problems, you have no solutions. that are based in reality. So it's like, damn, that's your daughter, and you can't even speak to her like she's your daughter because it's just God, 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 God. It's like, damn, this is not okay. You know what I mean? So that's my sentiment, where moderation is important. Don't ever let it cloud reality, because reality is one thing. That's not up for debate. It's not in dispute. It's not in controversy. This is fucking reality. This is it. We all deal with this equally. You know what I mean? So at the very least, let's all be here equally. That's all I ask for. You know what I mean? Believe what you want, but let's be in reality equally so we can solve problems realistically together. So that's kind of where my stance with it. But hey, believe what you want, just moderation, my niggas. I mean, that was good about that. So next thing, same thing with this topic. I don't really like, I'm not pressed about it, but I gotta talk about it because I gotta talk about it. We're gonna talk about
intros for every topic. I'm just like, how spicy is this about to be? Every time I'm like, I'm about to get canceled, or is it about to get hit the fan?
I love having niggas on their toes with it. You know what I mean? Because niggas really never know what's coming. But we're talking about politics today. And, you know, once again, like, and I love being down here in America talking to Americans about shit, because America is so fucking exciting. Y'all niggas always on one, and I love it. Low key, I love it. And I could always just go back to Canada and live in peace. But yeah, talk about politics down here, and I want to say, like, this is probably the only topic where I'm not as globalized with it. I'm not as the whole world. Because American politics is really where the politics are at. Like, other people are kind of like, okay, well, we know who you want to lead us. You know what I mean? We kind of have a more general idea. But America, every 4 years, it's really up for debate. Like, this is up for grabs. It's really up for grabs.
Niggas ready to die on this.
It's really up for y'all. Y'all really never have no idea who the next man's up is. And it's so interesting to see y'all go through this. And I'm just like, I'm always just been watching, because I don't vote. I can't vote. You know, shout out to America. So I have no dog in the fight. I'm just watching, like, who y'all for to choose next to lead y'all. You know what I mean? It's always interesting to see. And from the outside looking in, my idea, the way I look at politics is like, look, it's just like, it's kind of a bunch of nonsense. Because it's so fucking, like, divisive and argumentative. Like, it's not one government. And it perplexes me. It's like, hey, yo, guys, aren't we all on the same side at the end of the day? Right? The answer is no. But how can the answer be no? How can the answer be no? Like, that's what? So go ahead, talk to me about that. Explain why the answer is no.
Bro, it's really one wild thing I've always looked at to say is that you look at the Democratic Party, quote unquote, for black people, never done right for us.
Never.
Then you look at the Republican side of it. It's just like, well, there's some pros and cons. There's some legislations that have been done by Democratic officers, governors, presidents that have benefited us. However, you look at the other side, and it's really so awful, because I believe on the Republican side of their thought process that do not affect my life, leave me alone, take care of everything else that needs to be taken care of when it comes to the city, but leave my beliefs and my family out of it. It's an amazing thing to think about, and unfortunately is that they don't have the best interest in black people's hands either. And so you're looking every single time of just saying, you're going to sell me this, and you're going to say, we're going to take care of you. Sorry, you're going to take care of me. There we go. I was like,
there's that bass in my voice.
There we go.
Yeah.
Chocolate rain.
Oh, that guy was hilarious. Anyway, carry on.
But you're going to look at one side and say, hey, you keep selling us this fish oil, and every year you're going to do all these benefits for us. You get in a position, and then you don't return on your investment. We all vote for you, but you don't then take care of us. So you have the other side that's saying, hey, why are you going to keep doing the same thing over and over again? They're not going to take care of you. Come vote for us. But when we go vote for them, they don't take care of us either, because their agenda is way more higher than ours. So it's just like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And unfortunately, I think with the last presidential thing was just like, you pick the person that is less problematic to you.
Yeah, last time it was just an anti-Trump thing, which is kind of weak, because that's not a good reason.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's just like, oh, Biden's the lesser of two evils. Well, is Biden really going to benefit you?
No.
Like, it took all this time for us to get money back you're going to quote unquote say that you're going to give us this money to refund student loans. It took you this entire time you've been in office, but you do it now and you got to worry about re-election. So now you want to pay for things.
Pussy. Yeah.
And that's the worst part about everything. Is just like when it came to, and we're going to put the disclaimer right here, I'm going to be wrong on this. I know 9 times out of 10, you can fact check me. I'm probably going to be wrong. The Democrats could have instilled Roe v. Wade to make sure that it couldn't have been overturned. However, they
Oh no, I was talking about like they could have
no, not notified it, but
the abortion law.
Yeah.
They could like codified that and made it a permanent thing. The next man's can't come and undo.
and what they
They were
literally
mad at Obama for that after the fact.
and Obama literally said he was I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
Said, I'm not doing it. Literally, and that's the craziest part. He said it a long time ago. He said I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like you have this power, but what did you do? You don't do it so that you have that campaign right now.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can go out to argue to everybody. Look what the Republicans did to your rights. We're gonna fight for your rights.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get your rights back. You can't now. And that's the worst part about it. It's a game for them too. They don't really care about us as people. They care about being in their positions and making money. And that is politics, unfortunately, in this country, because the way it's set up is always will be until it's changed a game to keep them there. And if they have the chess piece to stay in that position, they don't care about their pawns. They're going to protect the queen. And that's just going to be politics in this country. And it sucks to see. But that's what it's also, like I said, it's just like you vote for the left, you're gonna keep being shit on and keep telling promises you're not gonna get. You vote for the right, you might get something you want, but unfortunately, they have their agenda, what they want taken care of first.
Always come before whatever you want.
And then you might get your one thing you want. Maybe. So both sides are telling you just both things, and you're not getting shit done either way.
Politics is crap. All right. Do you feel like your vote matters?
No. No. I would say my voice matters. My voice matters over my vote. Are you so surprised when I say that?
Because what do you mean by that? Do you mean like the ability your voice has to reach other people and impact and now make them vote?
Yep.
But your solitary singular vote means nothing.
Yep.
Okay.
Think about it. Because if I go out right now, if I go out and take my money, my time, my energy, get a group of people all together, go vote for a certain candidate we believe in. We know the alumni that ran for her position. Mm-hmm. We can go all out and all say, hey, we're going to go vote for her. We're going to get people to go vote for her. We're going to go campaign for her. If more people use their voice to get on a wave, you get more people to then come and listen to what she's saying and then vote for her as well. But if I just go up and say, hey, I vote for blah, 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 here's my vote. That's one person. One person. You can't win an election. Have we ever lost by one person?
You know what? I see what you're saying. That I think that's a good point. That's an interesting point. So you think your voice matters more than your vote? So are you trying to say one vote does not matter?
If everyone has the mentality that one vote does not matter, then unfortunately that's where you get the society viewpoint of.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't preach that.
You know, I said I'm not telling y'all. That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's how I feel because I know right now if I don't vote tomorrow, nothing's going to just
right.
change.
But we can't all feel that way, right?
We all cannot feel that way, and that's why I'm saying my voice matters more because now if my voice can touch 15 people to then go vote, and then just say one other person on top of those 15 people vote, we're getting more numbers. We're getting more people out there to vote. But if I sit in my room and just say, you know what, this year
I'm gonna go vote.
I don't like either of the guys. I'm just not gonna go vote. That's just one vote they're missing out on.
Yeah, I feel that. But if and I guess if you amplify that same sentiment, tell everybody don't go vote. It's that same voice being more powerful. Okay, that was a good point. I like that. We'll land on that. All right. I want to ask you about how you feel about the idea of right and wrong. You know, I got the yin yang tatted on me, so I love the concept of the duality of man. You know, I think I'm a good guy, but you know, I like being a bit evil too, because I don't even try to be perfect. I don't even fucking try. I'm always
said about him being humble. This is what I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
I mean, but I just said I'm a bit of good and evil. That's balance. That's what I'm saying.
That's balance. See, you take everything as a slight. I don't.
I just want to know what you mean. But no, I'm playing. But like, genuinely though, like, everybody has the ability to be equally good and evil. Nobody is flawless. Nobody's perfect. Nobody is all good. I don't really think anybody's all evil. Like, I don't believe there's one person, you know, shout out to Hitler. He might be the guy. But I don't believe there's anybody in humanity that just encompasses one thing just so completely that it's like, oh, there's not an ounce of good in that man. You know what I mean? So talk to me about that. How do you feel about, I guess, duality of man, right and wrong? How do you feel about discerning between the two? What makes something right and what makes something wrong? So launch on anything.
That's a hard one. So I think the concept really you have to hit on is like saying, like, you know in your head what you were raised on or taught to be what is wrong. You learn as a human. I think wrong in its definition meaning should be when you're not able to listen to someone else tell you their opinion and you stay on it. Because I think, like you said, like Hitler's a great example. To some people believe that Hitler was right. Like some people believed and some people followed him in his faith. Like those people won't say Hitler's wrong.
Yeah.
But some people, we all know Hitler was wrong.
Dead ass, right?
So it's the same concept where it's just
Dead
like, to
wrong.
me, it's like, I know I am wrong when I can listen to someone and they tell me like, hey, you might have been doing this for the past 5 years this way, but this is actually a more efficient way, or this is a more beneficial way to you doing it. I think it's that acceptance of listening and being like, oh, damn, this is wrong. But I think when you're stubborn, and you sit there and you're grained in your gut and you're just like, nah, I know this isn't wrong. Then you'll always be wrong.
Okay, that's deep, but I want to actually sans all of that without outside intervention. How would you determine right and wrong? Like, how would you determine it? Or is it an impossible determination without any type of stimuli that's reacting to you?
You would have to say, yeah, you'd have to have reaction of others. Because like at no point in what I do day to day, I could do everything wrong. I could drive on the wrong side of the road. I could drive.
But if there's nobody else,
that's what I'm saying. If there's literally, I can drive on the wrong side of the road. I can get drunk every day. I could walk around in my underwear. I could walk around damn near naked in my crib.
Yeah.
But until someone reacts and then tells me, hey, that's wrong. Then now I know, like, oh, what do you mean that's wrong? Like, what do you mean I just can't drive on the wrong side of the road? It's a danger.
okay, interesting, very interesting point. So you think the parameters of right and wrong are all set by society? That's
The
it.
unfortunate part.
That's
Very
it.
unfortunate. Because you look at our society, and every single day we have been wronged as people, and it is always looked at as a concept of, oh, but that doesn't always happen. But it continuously happens. So it's also another concept of where it's just like, and I told this to a worker one time of mine. I was like, you believe? Get back on topic.
Yeah, right and
He was
wrong.
mainly asking me about the concept when it comes to right and wrong, and understanding, like, when do you understand that? And I kind of came back to it. It's like society teaches you that. Like, society tells you as a whole, like, hey, this is right, this is wrong. But I had a conversation with one of my old employees back when I was working in Denver, older white woman, born and raised in Colorado. And it was when a lot of people were rioting in Minneapolis. And she, as I walked in the office, I just heard her say, it's just such a shame that all these buildings are being burnt down. And I said, it's not a target. It's a target. I was like, that's insurance. I was like, no one was hurt. Unfortunately, the biggest thing you can claim is people that work there, unfortunately, are out of work until Target can be back open or they can be displaced to another store. But that is the most we're talking about. And people in Minneapolis are fighting for black men being shot. So I said, why should I have to follow society's rules when society doesn't protect me when someone else messes up the rules? And she got real quiet. And that's like always a concept that I had to me is that when it comes to protesting, I'm not telling you to go burn down a federal court building. I'm not telling you to go burn down a Target. But I'm telling anyone that has that debate that says you shouldn't destroy property. Black men shouldn't be shot. Black women, black people, Hispanic. You should not be shot in a moment's second notice out of fear. You can have apprehension of fear that you are going to die as a police officer and protect yourself. But when people are being shot, when they don't get the second to you to understand that they are not a harm to you, I don't believe then I should have to follow society's rules when I say I want to protest. And she didn't like that statement, but that's kind of always one thing I live by is just like, unfortunately, a lot of things in our history we've been told was right until we were told it was wrong. And that's always going to be America, but slavery is wrong.
Yeah.
At one point it wasn't. Alcohol is wrong. At one point, I'm sorry, alcohol is okay.
It's okay.
It's okay to some people in moderation, but at one point it was illegal.
Yeah.
People love weed. People think that weed helps them and cures their body of the sickness and harms they deal with.
Yeah.
Right now it's quote unquote wrong.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things in society. It was like, where do we as a community and a culture and a world actually get the right to say we all agree this is okay? Like you say that with abortion. A lot of people believe that pro-choice, you should have pro-life, and that is unfortunately what they got in this decision. However, a lot of people in America, 64% by multiple studies, say that most Americans believe it's pro-choice. So when do we get to say as a country saying if 64% believes it's right and then the other percent believes it's wrong, how do we get on that right path of saying?
How do you determine which is which? Whew. How do you? Were you just posting the question, or do you have the answer?
I don't have the answer.
Okay.
If I could have fixed it by now.
Okay,
But
well,
I think it's coming to terms of just being able to say, and I think that's a great thing. It's pro-choice. You should be allowed to do what you want with your body. Body modifications, surgeries, and to unfortunately understand that people value life. But if we're going to say that we value life, then we should have initiatives in place to say that children that are in foster care are taken care better than what they're given right now. Children that are being dropped off at fire stations, parents, single mothers are given more support to help take care of these children. Like, we can't say pro-life, and then the moment the life is born, then the government wants out of your body.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. If you're going to say it's pro-life, then there should be resources that every woman has the access to, single mother or not.
Sure enough.
To take care of that life. That's against the whole concept of, if we can't take care of our own here, I don't really care about what we're trying to take care over there. Because if we can't take care of us, how are we going to efficiently take care of everywhere else there's a wrong when we have so many wrongs of our own here?
Well, all right. That turned into a lot, to be honest with you. And I think this old fashioned is fucking me up. So I guess that I'll leave it at that as we talk about right and wrong. I think where you ended was an interesting point, and that it's not something that can be defined without looking at, I guess, the larger societal context, which is interesting. You could argue it, but I'm not here to really argue that. I think I think it's a good I think it's a good place to land and let people think for themselves about it. And when we revisit this conversation down the line, hopefully it will be more definitive. So on to the next thing. It's next quick thing. I kind of already know how you feel about this topic, but I always I always have to talk about it just to show that, I kind of give a fuck. So I kind of give a fuck. All right, I'm talking about animals. Animals. I know I have an episode about animals. It catch people off guard, but I do have an episode about animals. And I only say that to say it's like, I don't believe we have dominion over all these creatures. And that's honestly that's like the crux of how I feel about it. It's like, yeah, we're fortunate to evolve to where we are. And yes, at the top of this food chain with technology, we can dominate. But does that mean we should, I guess, have a lack of care?
What's your definition of lack of care, though?
Is how we slaughter them in mass and handle them in mass, and we force them to go extinct with our ridiculous behavior in mass. Like that's I literally mean lack of care. Like, we don't care. And so that's why, like, in my episode I talk about it, you know what I say? I say shout out to PETA. And I don't even fuck with PETA like that. But I always rather somebody care too much than not care at all. And PETA is the embodiment of caring way too much. But I prefer that than them just not giving a singular fuck. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like
sponsored by PETA.
No. And I just feel like the majority of humanity just doesn't give a singular fuck. And you know me, I'm not some crazy wild vegetarian or vegan. I'm gonna say that every episode too. I'm really not. But let's have some mercy. Let's have some compassion.
What compassion do you want? So this is what I always get on people. I've dated a vegan before.
Hilarious.
And I worked in the agriculture field. Mm-hmm. So FFA for 4 years in high school, and then I went into the background of making livestock feed. Mm-hmm. So the food for the animals that we're going to then to put food on your table. Mm. So I always like to ask people, what is your definition of the cruelty they go through? What do you think is going through the life cycle process from that chick that's being hatched to that chick that's on your plate?
Like in terms of chicken?
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm not gonna act like I know. I don't know. But when I guess the image in my mind when I think of, like, I guess, cruelty is I see, like, cows in the slaughterhouse and shit like that, and how they just get murked, man. Like, they're alive and they get their throats slit and bled out. I see them squirming and shit. I seen those videos. I'm like, yo, this how we coming? This how we coming?
Depends on the animal. Depends on the
what. You know what? It's that lawyer shit. Everything is case by case. Sometimes it's just not. It's just not. Because it goes back to the whole sentiment, right? It's a lack of care, lack of compassion.
But see, I disagree because I think of the concept of, and this is gonna sound twisted, but the animals aren't treated like they are dirt.
They're treated like they're food.
Now, again, what I'm saying is that What do you think the diet is for one of those animals you're eating? What do you think they live?
In what way?
The animals that you're referring to. Like, if we talk about cruelty, I think one thing is like people always talk about the slaughterhouse. That's the end result. It ain't electrocution. Bullet to the dome, slit throat.
Yeah.
Typically the way a majority of the
So you're saying they live a good life to be killed?
Y'all?
Well,
Don't we all live a great life until we die?
Okay, see, yeah, I said die. I said killed. You said die. There's a difference.
I'll die. But no. So what I mean though is like, so for most animals, chickens are typically caged in house.
Okay.
So chickens, yeah, you will have a ton of them, thousands on top of thousands in a barn. All have their own. Some of them will all have their own little hen, their own little roosting hen, where they can go into their room, lay their eggs, go on a conveyor belt, get kicked back out. Eggs go somewhere else. All those chicks are to make eggs. The hens are made to make eggs.
Yeah.
They're going to slaughter.
Okay.
But you will, at one point, other ones that are being processed, go, break the neck, get done.
Okay.
Break the neck, they get food, they get shelter. They're not getting, like, treated horribly. You're not getting shit on, beat on. Pigs, typically in a barn, out in pasture area. Cows, definitely pasture area. Like, these animals that we're talking about, they're not from the day of birth going to the point of life, how most children in the criminal system from their first fuck up to jail. Our own people are treated worse than most livestock. That's why you're going to get fed good meals, going to be taken care of, you're going to the vet, you're going to have a good health, and you're also going to make sure that that animal can make it to the slaughter, because if not, that animal is not worth it. It's an investment. So, yes, when animals die, like I said, horrible death. Bullet to the head for most cows, a lot of lacerations to the neck for most pigs, and chickens, snap their necks, they're dead. That's awful ways to die. But we have kids in the foster care system that don't get the support they need. They grow up to be children that are more typically adaptable to dangerous situations or violence or going through trauma and dealing with tough things, then getting put out into the world and then making more bad decisions. They make one mistake. They make two mistakes. You go to juvie. You go from juvie, come back out, then you go to jail because you have no instructions. We put children in worse situations than we do animals. What's crazy is people care more about the animals.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're not wrong. And you know I care. I love the kids as well, but I didn't want to forget the animals. I mean, that's an interesting point. And I'm not gonna ever I'm not part of PETA. I'm never gonna care about animals when I care about children. But all I say is, my professor once told me to exercise compassion. And I just try to do that every so often, not all the time, just a little bit.
The day that we're able to get all of our resources and proteins out of bio sources scientifically, I'm all about it.
Yeah, but
make that shit good. But I'll eat it.
I know, but come on, we were talking about the food shortage, but we have this is back to the lack of moderation for humanity. You have an overfishing problem.
We don't.
What you mean? There's not an overfishing issue?
So again, that's just almost like saying like the concept of we have over policing. It's in a certain area. Yes, you're being over policed.
Do you think scarcity is manufactured and there's no real scarcity?
No, I believe there is scarcity because I believe we have droughts everywhere right now. What I'm saying though is that the scarcity is created by man and it's created in categories. So I would say that if we say that eels are going extinct because they are amazing and it's a season, yeah. If we don't have a point to cycle out those animals, old, bring in new, and stuff like that, then yes, that's when you have the overconsumption to the point where they go extinct.
Yes,
I agree with that concept, but like I said, deer, and most hunting animals, deer, not really bears.
But with the hunting animals though, right? There's a cap on how many you can hunt during the season,
depending on what the animal is,
and where you are, right? Yeah.
Because if there's a preponderance of them,
and obviously there's no cap. Yeah. But usually you can't just go wild and hunt it dry because then it's over.
But it's because if everyone does it, it's all gone.
But I feel like that's how humanity does with the rest of our resources. It just there's no
cap.
Yeah,
we can keep money. If I'm gonna keep making money off of it today, why would I stop to make money tomorrow?
I think that's the issue, though, right? I think that right there embodies the problem.
That is the problem.
Yeah. So. Shout out to PETA once again. I always prefer people who care too much, not care at all. But according to Man over here, we don't need y'all.
I've been trying to get me since Austin in 2015. Y'all can keep coming for me.
Wow. It's personal, a vendetta, if you will. Okay. Last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here. where the funniest clip came from. When we talk about astronomy, my favorite topic. Just overall topic, not topic on here. But in the astronomy, I have Earth, global warming, space, and aliens. And I want to actually throw it all at you because we kind of already talked about, I want to say we talked about global warming a bit when we talked about animals and I guess the scarcity and all that idea. So what do you think about, I guess, Earth, our place in the universe and our solar system? What do you think about, because aliens are real. We all know that, right? We don't have to, we're not arguing about that.
Are they though?
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm happy you had that face on with you. But yeah, so that's we know aliens are real, so we don't have to debate that. But, and you understand the idea of space and the vastness of it all and how light years and, you get all that. So talk to me about that. And I guess talk to me about how you feel about it and our place in it as being human beings on this floating rock in our weak ass solar system.
I think it's actually, one thing I'll say is try to quick slide this in. I think it's the funniest thing to me is when COVID really hit, we were all worried about COVID. We were worried about dying. Then when the government just slid out documents saying aliens are real, niggas really just said, but COVID is serious. People are dying.
COVID, yeah. I forgot that happened.
Thank you.
The government said, oh, by the way, here. We said, oh, what are we talking about? We don't care.
We have actual evidence. We have documentation of these objects that fly faster than anything we can produce. And it's real. But don't forget about COVID. So that was crazy to me.
Yeah.
But like to me, it's just like, I think, and it's really bad to say, but I think that unification of the whole world would really only kick in when we had an interaction.
I know. We have to get invaded by fucking aliens for us to really become one humanity.
It's like, it's just the weirdest thing to me is like, that's really the thought process is like, because we'd be scared shitless.
Oh, yeah.
And it's literally.
And that makes us team up finally. Oh,
Really?
I'm scared. We're all going to die. Let's team up.
Yeah. But I think to me, it's always the concept is just like, if you really woke up one morning and said, we are one, you gotta be wild. There's just so many things you can't explain. So many things like creatures and everything where it's just like, if we believe that we are the superior, most intellect thing on this earth, but then all these other things are out here and created, we're just like, we really can't think we're top shit. And then say there's a God above us. Like, how are we the next thing before the God? We're saying that.
In terms of like a hierarchy in the universe.
If you think about
right?
it, yeah. Like, if there's so many things where it
It
comes
goes from humanity to God, like there's nothing in between.
nothing.
I mean, but that's the religion. Religion says we're made in His image. So why would there be anything in between?
That's what I'm saying. But no, it's just like, I do believe there's a vast solar system to where my brain could never interact.
In the vast universe. Yeah, right? And it's like, I look up into space and I just like, yo, we really ain't shit. I look out into like, I was like, we're literally that speck of fucking dust, however many millions of miles away. So it's just, and this is like, I guess, I ended on this episode because, like, because this bothers me, right? And I'm gonna talk about this every episode so I can, I guess, get it off my fucking chest and maybe somebody will finally hear it. The fact that we're not amongst the stars bothers me because I feel as though humanity is capable enough. I feel like we're talented enough, but I feel as though we're not focused enough. And I say that to say we're too busy fighting amongst ourselves. That's what, and I truly believe that. And like, we're not giving ourselves as a species the best chance to prosper in our entirety. And I think if we weren't so divided on Earth, we could be amongst the stars, man. Like we could be able to leave our solar system. We could be able to potentially explore outside our galaxy. We would already have interacted with other life forms. So it bothers me that we don't, nobody cares for that. Like, nobody cares for that as a whole. Like, we don't really give a fuck.
I'm glad y'all can see that I'm just like baffled.
Just the fact that we were essentially stranded on this planet is an issue for me because we could do better. So talk to me about astronomy, space, aliens. How you feel about that?
Not astronomy. I got rid of that card a long time ago.
What I will talk about, stupid.
I know I am. What I will talk about though is like, I don't believe that if we get the concept in our head that there is another planet we can go live on and sustainable life, I feel like that's just going to give more of us a reason to fuck this one up. Like, the concept of it is the only world we got. I get the concept of like, oh, there's other possibilities. But you're saying, you said it earlier in the concept of like, oh yeah, like, I believe that at one point like, we could do this. At one point we should be able to. But if it was less than 20 years ago, we couldn't get a rocket to go up in the air without exploding.
Yeah.
Like, we can't get bots off of IG. and social media. So
Hey, yo.
I have no faith in technology when we can't do simple things that most Americans believe are simple when it comes to technology wise, that we can then start venturing out to other worlds and planets and creating a society that's just going to be still false.
But like once again, that's like the lack of focus of us as a whole. Like, yeah, right now it seems impossible because the majority of us are stupid. So it's like, yeah, how are we gonna get to that point? But over time, you know, if we were more focused, the majority of us won't be as dumb, and there'll be more people to input towards the solution, which is effectively what I'm saying. And I don't mean to say, oh, let's explore so we can abandon. It's like, let's explore for the sake of solving the mysteries of the universe and reality. It's not, oh, let's leave Earth and never come back. No, let this be our base, right? We should keep our planet safe. Like, obviously, this is the conception of humanity. It's here. So that should always be our base, our home. We should be able to go and come, but let's reach to the ends, man, like, of the universe. Does that not excite you? Am I alone here? I think I'm starting to think I am.
Hell no. No. Why?
Okay. So it's just me that's curious about the secrets of reality and life.
See your eyes popping out as you said it. Yes, it's
okay. Well, that's the end of this episode, folks. I can see now that not everybody cares about space and astronomy and wanting to leave Earth. I'm not going to force somebody to care. So
you a rising moon or you a Cancer?
I said astronomy, not astrology. Let's know the difference. My niggas Galileo and Copernicus did not die for y'all to be saying Mercury's in retrograde, so my feelings hurt. No, nigga. You just stupid. So cut it out. There's a difference between astrology and astronomy. And no, I don't fuck with astrology. All that shit dumb. But when we talk about the science of astronomy and space and all these things, it's honestly everything to me. So it's interesting that a lot of people don't give a fuck. Because, like, what? Secrets of the universe.
But we're not made to be in that universe.
This is our universe. Not
you
again.
You know what I meant space. You know what I meant with space. Calm down. Is the universe real?
No.
You have a doppelganger on the other side of the world?
Oh, my God. What are you saying?
Let's have it.
Yo, what are you saying, though? Like,
no, what I'm saying is that, it's like, as humans, like, we already understand that our bodies can't handle elongated periods in space.
Yeah.
So then we're talking about traveling and traversing through space. Our body can't handle it. If for any reason the little tiny tin machine that we're traveling through this space with pops,
we're done.
But,
I mean, nobody says we're not fragile, but that's literally why we have technology. That's the one thing that makes us, like how we talked about, dominion and things like that. Technology is a difference maker. That makes us, that gives us the ability to compete with other creatures that are naturally stronger, better, faster. Technology. So yeah, I know like we're fragile and all this and that, but in terms of building things to carry us, I think it's possible. And in terms of like the distance and the journey, that is the only real task, because it takes too long to clear space. We don't have the lifespan. That's the one. We don't have the lifespan to clear space.
So if us humans don't have the life space, how can we do it?
But the technology will bridge that gap. For example, I'm not gonna get too much into this because it's just sci-fi shit. We're just talking. But you know the idea of warp speed, right? That's literally the solution to our problems. We just can't do it because it's damn near impossible. It's just theoretical. But you know, if one day we figure out how to open black holes in two ends of the universe and move through them without destroying the fabric of reality, then we're good. Then we're good.
Kids, this is why cartoons are good for you, but everything in moderation.
Like I said, man, this is why you need the brightest minds working on this. Like, I'm not the nigga in the lab solving this issue. All I know is all I have are theories and hypotheses and just hopes and dreams and that. And you know what I mean? All I have is just words. I'm not a Mensa child, you know what I mean, doing advanced physics in 5th grade. I'm not him.
It's just funny to me because it's just like, it's so funny. Like, we as human beings don't have the body to do it. Science will then give us the ability to just do it. It's just like...
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me phrase this right. Phrase this right. What's your timeline? How long do you actually think that is possible?
But this, I have no timeline on this because we fucking suck, man. Like, we have to...
No, that's a cop-out. Give me a timeline.
All right.
Technology as it's growing.
Technology as it's growing at this timeline for what exactly? Like, discovering all the mysteries of the universe, or leaving our solar system, or what? Because there's levels.
I think it
Like-
gives you the level of saying that we have created a technology that allows us to traverse the universe and get farther than what we have reached right now.
Woo! Okay, realistically, 200 years.
How many?
200.
At least at 20. I was going to say I'm going
200.
to walk out of this.
No. 200 years. 200
fair.
years. That's
That's
fair,
fair.
right? 200. Because it's not light. It's not light
not,
work.
not at all.
And I'll say, like I said, I'm not a pioneer. When we have space buses, what's when you gonna find me in space? I'm not gonna be up there first looking for shit. I'm gonna let y'all niggas go handle that and figure it out. I'm gonna let y'all do trial and error. I'm gonna let y'all handle that. When it's time for the civilians to come, the lawyers, I'm coming. But until then, I'm chilling.
Let's get back on that then. Like right now, we see that Elon Musk does it. It's all private.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about not Bill Gates, but Jeff Bezos, what he does is sending people up into space temporarily, all private for profit.
Yes.
So then, when will the civilians be able to go on this 200 years from now? If it's all being paid by private money.
Well, the issue is, when are we gonna have enough interest to make it public? Like, yeah, you could say oh, it's right now all these dudes doing all these things are privatized because one, they can do it and they have the interest to want to do it. I know a lot of it is selfishness and like, oh, I know Earth's dying, let me run away somewhere else. Like, I know whatever is driving them, but they're interested in doing it. I think, like, even the conversation we had, you're not interested and I'm interested, but I can't do it. So it has to be enough of us that are interested and then that want to and can do it. But I think as a base society, as a base people, we all should be interested. I'm not saying everybody devote your life to science and astronomy. Like, obviously we have to be versatile. Like the arts and music and poetry, philosophy, all these things are very important as well, right? But we should all have some sort of care, right? As a motherfucking crew, you know what I mean? We should all have some sort of care towards these things, towards reaching out into space, towards just knowing what is really up with reality. I'm curious, man. I'm so insanely curious, and I feel like all the things we argue about on Earth are just mundane nonsense things. Like what are we really beefing over, man? Like, what are we really mad about? Like, we mad over nonsense. Like, really, when you deep it. So that's why, like, discovering the truth of reality in life is more interesting to me.
Everybody has a hobby. I'm not trying to knock you as my face might show.
Yeah,
but it's like, to me, it's just like, I think that itch and that drive to find something more is great. But like I said, with poverty here and poverty at home, I feel like there's so much that we haven't discovered in our own world.
That's another thing. When the last episode, he had asked me, and maybe this is the wrong thought, but I think space, like doing all this space odyssey is what I'm gonna call it. Space odyssey is already presumed we have peace on Earth. You see what I'm saying? That's why, like, us getting ourselves together here is a prerequisite for us moving further. And so that's why it's like, that's what bothers me though, because we're not together yet to not even think about that. And that goes back to what you're saying. We haven't even sorted ourselves out to now try to do more.
But the whole, like, I'm trying to understand this. If we get into the topic of the world in itself and all of us going out and exploring as a world,
or at least being interested.
I think everyone's interested. Everyone's interested in it. It's just no one all have the people to do it and the capacity and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I think it's also just like everyone's at peace. And everyone's going to explore the world. I don't think we have enough resources in this world already to then try to come up with accessibility for everybody to try to travel. Like, I think, like, that
But like, that's the thing. It's not necessarily, there's not going to be enough for everybody to try. I mean, I'm not going to say that. You never know. But right now, like, have
you seen Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah.
You understand, like, how they, like, it's just like, in my interpretation, like, I can see that. That's all I can really see. Is there is a world and it's not prioritized anymore.
It's just one of many. It's just a world.
It's a world. There's many out there. People all living out everywhere.
People live amongst the stars.
Yeah.
And like they live in spaceships in space.
That part, yeah. It's literally just very large spaceships and they're all able to function out in almost like its own little atmosphere. It's almost like it's like a star, like a moon. It's just out there chilling.
I mean, that's what it turns into, so be it. But I'm more so, I don't even like, I'm not even gonna say, oh, I care so much about, what I want to say, like, expanding humanity through space, like in a colonial kind of way, where it's like, oh, let's not on this planet and have babies.
You want that, or you don't want that?
No, I don't want that. That's what I'm saying. I don't need that. That's not the
history's
purpose.
already showed itself. It will repeat.
Exactly. We'll do that, right? my thing is it's just the information, the knowledge. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not saying, oh, let's all go out there, but let's have a team of 10 dudes or whatever, right? And they go out there and like they find the secrets, do the calculations, and they relay it back to us, kind of like fucking Interstellar and shit, right? She was the dad that was. Oh, you never seen Interstellar? I know, but Interstellar was cool, but it was too perfect. The dude fell into a black hole and it like put him in like the fourth dimension, and he was like seeing Earth through this dimension, and he was helping his daughter solve the mysteries of the universe. And through his help, his daughter solved it all. I think that's a bit like, it's kind of like that, but that was a bit too flawless. That was a bit too perfect. That's not real. But in whichever way it happens, I'm not saying it's a mission for every single one of us, but it's something that can benefit every single one of us. And you never know the technology that could be created, that could be adapted. You just don't, it's endless possibilities. Like the more knowledge we have about reality, the more we can do in this reality. And so that's how I feel.
You said Interstellar?
Yeah, Interstellar.
I could have sworn, I think this is where I get my phobia from. There's a movie that came out a long time ago, 2014, 13, long time ago. And it was with a woman she was the chief of her spaceship going out, and everyone dies.
Oh.
She's the last one to survive.
Oh.
In her head, in her last seconds of dying, they show like, oh, the life she lived going back to planet Earth with her family. There's this whole monologue, and then they just rip it out from under you, and they just show you like her body floating out in space. She's really dead.
Yeah.
That is my time of thinking of everything in space. This is literally just...
I mean, but it's dangerous as fuck. Like, yeah. That's why I said I'm not going to be a pioneer. I'm not in there first.
Who want to be first?
Well, these astronaut niggas want to be first. That's what I'm saying. People have different drives. They're driven for... I don't even... Hopefully I get to talk to an astronaut one day about what made them want to be the people going up into space for whatever reason. Because some people just have that drive and ambition. So whatever their justification for it is, whatever they do, they know it's going to benefit humanity.
I'm gonna Pete on this one. Send a monkey up there.
Not send a monkey. And he said, I'm with Peter. That's not what, but you're sick. This guy is sick. But anyway, I'm gonna let that be the end of this episode. Great talking to you, man. It's always been good. I love the perspective. I hope it gave everybody something to think about. It's always gonna be a different perspective from different people, and that's what I love about it. So I don't know if you want to plug any handles or promote any businesses, but I'm gonna give you some time to do that. You can not.
No, because y'all don't even know nothing about me. Y'all can't cancel me or plug my old bar, The Mark. That's about it. But just always, when you realize when you wake up in this morning, it's an amazing day to be alive, and people don't have that blessing every day. So don't let negativity ruin your day, and don't let your negativity ruin someone else's day. Be you. Always be you. Be true to you. Don't let nobody try to change you. And if they want to, that's fine. You stick to you. Have a great day. Just... don't worry about those 30 seconds something rubs you the wrong way and then let you ruin your day. Because it's a great quote. I can't think of the name of who quoted it, but it was literally just, he was saying that it's a second. Every little hiccup is a second. And there's another day tomorrow. And no matter how bad it gets, no matter how much you hate life, no matter how tired you are, no matter how much you want to give up, tomorrow's a new day. Don't know what it could bring. So why end it short?
Oof. Damn.
Always look for the next day.
Damn.
And even if it's been bad for a while, the next day has a possibility to change it. You end it short, you'll never know.
Hey, okay. Great way to end. Once again, shout out to Iron Brown. Always with the positivity, the good messages. Remember, life is always worth living, people. Give yourself another chance tomorrow. Peace.
Fucking legend.
Oh, this is cool.
When they're blinded by your light, they gon' wanna make a flicker. Everybody got scars, all tryna heal them quicker. For that sweet light, need some time, start out better. They never hit out loud, don't get caught in the whispers. Do they really love you when they caught up in the hype? Can't tell who really see you when you blinded by the lights. We all just tryna cope, you better figure out your fight. Just don't let them whispers take you in the night. Thought I could weather the storm, then got snowed in. Hurts when you